Hello, everyone. Welcome back to welcome to the very first episode of Die Party Dead Man's Crest, a weekly foray into. I wish someone would stop typing. A weekly foray into our new Seven Seas second edition game about pirates. Pirates! Yarr. I'm super fucking ready for this shit. It's gonna be awesome. Sorry for the late start. Wreckage had to arrive, but he's here now. We found him. So let's go around and introduce everyone, and I guess their characters. We'll do the characters later, but let's introduce the players first, I guess. So starting off with my man, Mr. Eugene. What up, sir? How you doing?
I was really hopeful when you said my man that it was going to be me. I was like, man, I really hope that's me. And then it was me, and it was super exciting. Yeah. It's a great way to start the show, but I mean, I was going to say
the day.
You know what? It's not. Hi.
You could always marry him, and then you could start every day like that.
I could.
My man.
My wife might disagree, but
yeah. So
then again, yeah. Then again, we'll see. We'll run past the committee. Hey everybody, my name is Eugene. I'll be playing a character named Eric, son of Eric. That's all you're going to get right now. We'll get into the story later. It is, by the way, the best name in any role-playing show ever. And you will never find a better one.
Yeah, we were like, what's the most generic Viking name you could ever come up with? And I like to think of it as the Viking John Smith, but
Yeah, I hit it right on the nose. Yeah. That's this guy, full of imagination.
It would be more Viking if it was K, not C.
It actually is supposed to be with a K. It's spelled.
Fuck you, man! Like
we covered this specifically in the last episode.
You didn't.
Prylor gave me crap for it.
You didn't. Mm-hmm. You didn't. You know what? I will change it right now, just to spite you. How about that?
I mean, it's not spiting me for you to spell things correctly.
Look, if you told me to say, "Yeah, my name is Eric, son of Eric," and I'm like, "Okay, great." You didn't.
That would be hilarious if one was spelt with a K and the other with a C.
Yeah. I would be okay with that.
That would be very funny.
I'm Eric with a K, son of Eric with a C, son of Eric with a C. And son of Eric with 2 Ks.
You know what? I hate this group already.
And all of the excitement that Henley had for this show is gone immediately.
The show's canceled.
That was quick.
I am super excited about this show. I mean, I've been super excited to be on every die party that I've been on. But Pirates, man. And getting to meet Prylor and James. I'm super psyched. Can't wait to get into it. Bit unprepared because Wreckage was super kind and gave us an entire week to answer one question. And every day I thought vigorously about thinking about that question. And then I got home from work today and I went, okay, I've got a couple of hours. Let's knock out a story. But first I'll play a little bit of PoE. Just a smidge, and that is what I was still doing when the Zoom call popped up. So let's see how good I improvise.
Path of Exile doesn't require that much attention.
When you are bad at Path of Exile, it most certainly does.
Okay. I would also like to clarify that of everybody here, I gave everyone a week, except Eugene, who I told a whole week sooner that he had to have this story. So he has, in fact, had 2 weeks to come up with this story and has nothing.
Oh, shit.
That is true. And also, I was hoping he had forgotten that.
No, I forget nothing. Ever.
Righto, then.
Disappointed!
Disappointed!
Anyway,
in my next life, I will be shiny and chrome.
Moving on. Let's talk about our next David that we need to introduce. Mr. Prylor, what up, sir? How you doing?
Yo, I will be playing Bjorn Svensson. He's a Viking blacksmith and fighter. So yeah,
Nice.
hopefully this RP is gonna be good because I kind of am gonna be a little bit of improv as well because I've been having a very busy week. So this will be interesting for sure. So and I'm looking forward to it. So
My God.
yeah.
I work with professionals, guys. Yeah.
Hey, improv's a thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
Hopefully when we move over to James will be like, I did my homework and I wrote the story that
Can I
I was
just
supposed
say-
to.
He's gonna have a half an
I
hour
did
story.
my homework well and see. I've known about this introduction as well for 2 weeks. I had it done the moment Wreckage told me about it. Okay.
He says that, but then I feel like we're gonna go to him and he's gonna be like, I fell over outside of a ship, and then leans back as if he had just dropped the mic. We'll see. We'll see. I tried to entice you guys to do your homework by telling you there would be a
There was
mechanical
yeah.
reward for the best told story, and apparently that still didn't get you inspired.
You
so
get an extra hero point for this session.
No, listen. I just want
Best
to make
improv.
clear.
Let's go.
I was inspired. Like I said, every day I thought very hard about the fact that I should be thinking about that particular question. It's,
Alright, well, let's see if the booty train does indeed stop at all stations. Hello, James.
Hello.
How are
I
you?
sort of did the homework. I'm all right. I did sort of do the homework. I just wrote down some notes and that's it.
that's more than these chuckle fucks did.
It may not be the greatest story in the world because I'm not the greatest storyteller on the planet, but hey, hopefully it's slightly humorous and slightly funny. No, that's the same fucking word. Whatever.
It can be filled with humors and also funny. Like humorous as in like alchemic vapors or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm playing. Oh god, I can't even see my name. Samuel Stone. His friends called him Stone because he's as thick as a stone. But hey,
I like it. I like it.
But other than that, yeah, he's just someone who can repair stuff quite well. Is that what I'm supposed to do? I don't know. I'm James.
Yeah, this is good.
I reckon your introduction story is going to be the best. Yeah, I kind of ended up here because I fell off a boat. Sank to the bottom, walked here.
I sunk like a stone.
Oh,
Bum.
No.
it's almost like an
No.
Alcor from Mass Effect. That was
Don't
good,
you
man.
put that evil on this game, Eugene. Don't you put that evil.
Bum.
Boom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, just so you know, I can't be as loud as everyone because there's people asleep all around me, so I just have to can't shout.
Yeah, fuck.
Well, it'll be our responsibility to make sure that when you speak, we all shut the fuck up.
Shout. And the last person we need to introduce is our game master for this show and episode, Mr. Dr. Wreckage, the late Dr. Wreckage. What up?
Hi, everybody. This is only one of the very few times in all of Die Party, maybe twice, that I've been the one who's late. But yeah, we'll tell a joke about it. That's fine. And I also told everyone I would be about 10 minutes late, and I was 11 minutes late. I'm so sorry. Here's the thing, everybody. Here's what I want to get right out of the gate. I'm extremely excited to tell stories in this setting. I'm extremely excited to learn this system because it looks very good. But having read it 4 times, I still don't understand how it's supposed to work. So this is one of the very few times that your otherwise unsolicited advice in the chat is solicited. If you have played this game and we are doing it wrong, please speak up, because I have never seen this game actually played. I have never actually played in it. This is one of the very few times where I feel coming into a game, a brand new game as a GM, I actually don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do when it comes to the rules, because it is unique and it's very exciting in the way that it's unique. So I am very excited for when I finally do think I understand it. But that's not today. So the first episode might have some shaky rules in it. Apologies in advance. But without further ado, we will go into the actual narrative. Please adjust your sets, turn down the lights.
Ricardo Mendez, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's playing Ricardo Mendez. You always know that when you throw to me, I start the show. Yeah, you know you need to get your own.
You want me to be like, hello everyone? Who am I? Well, I'm me. No, it's cool. Whatever.
I think it's good that you always introduce your guests first, Dave. But remember that when you throw to me, I start the show. So lights down, candles up. If you have a campfire in your living room, in your computer room,
lights down.
Start it now. Begin the. Take yourself in. All right. A bolt of lightning cracks the sky, piercing the roiling clouds above. There is only blackness, and in the silence before thunder, we hear the waves breaking on a shore. The blackness is illuminated again by lightning, and we see all manner of flotsam and jetsam washing up on the beach. As the next wave rolls in, it rolls out, discarding a semi-conscious body. One of you is that body. Who wants to volunteer?
Yo.
Ricardo, you struggle to your feet, exhausted, having been tossed about in the black waves for hours? You're not sure. You're on an unfamiliar island, and in the blackness, you can make out no landmarks except that there is a twinkling campfire just a few yards inland on the beach. One of you is tending the fire. Who is the volunteer for that? Yeah. Eric, son of Eric, you found yourself marooned on this same beach mere hours ago, and with a level head and your farming skills, harvested the beach of its many burnable wreckages to create a fire.
And I would like to be making food.
Do you carry food on your person?
No, but luckily,
I'm a farmer.
My years in the militia, in the farmlands, and my training has given me survivalist skills, so that even in the harshest of conditions, I can find food for myself and perhaps even up to 3 to 5 others.
Is that a skill that you're referencing?
It is an advantage.
Tell me about this advantage.
Survivalist. I can forage for food up to myself and 5 others in normal environments, or myself and 3 others in harsh environments.
I see what you're saying. This harsh environment is more than harsh. It is barren. There is no vegetation or animal life on this spit of land. However, I will allow, because of your advantage, that one of the many wrecked pieces of etc. was a barrel that had supplies in it. So you are able to be preparing a meal. While I still get to narratively point out how barren and this land is.
I would be perfectly fine having gone through and found dead bodies and taken supplies from.
I thought you were gonna say go cannibalism.
No,
again.
Sir.
We got 3 minutes. 3 minutes in before one of the players went, "That's still well and good, GM. I'll let you finish." But
GM, I'll let you finish.
I love it.
One of you has recovered a flag that was flown by some unfortunate ship that is now dashed on the rocks here on this island and is clutching it tightly around them as they shiver next to the fire. Who is my volunteer for that?
Go on then. All
right. Samuel Stone, you are cold, but that's to be expected as you were also tossed about in the waves for hours. Your first thought as these other survivors pull themselves to the flames for warmth and the food that this man has been able to create, none of these people, you don't recognize any of them. Theoretically, they should probably be people from your ship, if that's what happened. But none of these people are recognizable. Ricardo, I assume you head to the fire. Or are you going to tell me, no, GM, I turn around and walk into the sea?
I don't know. How cold is it? No, I walked towards the fire. Yeah, obviously. I mean, there's not much a man on an empty stomach that's, now filled with salt water wants less than more salt water. So,
that's a fair point. Eric, you have set up the fire in a place that had some masts buried in the sand, to act as benches. It almost looks like a nice summer camp fire pit, honestly, all things considered. The storm is in the distance. There is no rain, only thunder and lightning. In the brief flashes of light from lightning, you can see inland a strange spire, a tower, not quite shaped like a tower. And in an endeavor to find help, one of you went inland to attempt to contact that spire. That's Prylor, because everybody else volunteered already. But you return confused to the fire. Your every attempt to head inland leading you only back to the beach and the fire. And you're cold and hungry, and you said sod it in some
And annoyed that I can't get to my destination.
Yeah, in some way, you are perturbed. Moments pass in silence. The food is ready, and it has been some time since any man who is living has pulled himself from the waves. For now, it seems like you four are the only people for thousands of miles.
Food's done. Help yourself, lads. It's all we got.
What is it?
You call that food?
well, it is better than nothing, friend. I will take my fill.
I suppose that's true.
Well, your options are this or the ocean, so...
Oh, do not mistake myself. I am very happy that something else besides salt water is in my belly.
You have a strange accent. Where are you from?
Oh, the land of gold, my friend.
Pereza. That's what we named it.
I hear you all like fancy people over there.
Oh, that is one way of putting it, yes. Fancy and elegant and decadent. You could describe all those things about Pereza, but...
I also hear you're excellent dancers.
I have been known to jitterbug, but that is not my only skill.
What about you, big man? Where are you from?
Some places. Hang on. Let me think. It's the Emerald Isles.
Oh.
Oh, you are from my destination. Do tell, is it a land of sweeping green fields, as the rumors say?
If green is grey, then yeah, certainly.
Sorry. Let me ask again. Is it filled with dumb rich people, as the rumors say?
I don't know. Are they rich? No, most people in there are poor. I think it's only like the few people who are at the top.
You're from the land of gold. Why are you going to some other island looking for riches?
Well, how much time do you have, friend? My story is one of ill will and vast fortune. Yeah,
I don't appear to be going anywhere. But before you begin, the food critic here, where are you from?
I'm from Thrin. It's a great Nordic establishment.
Yes.
I'm one of the best blacksmiths in all of Thrin.
Does that mean you make chalkboards?
Does it make what?
Chalkboards.
I'm sorry?
Blackboards.
I still not understanding what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
It is a weird thing to see a blacksmith on side of a ship. And normally the ones that I know of prefer to keep their feet on solid ground.
Well, sometimes you have to seek out your own resources for yourself. Find the metals yourself.
In foreign lands, and I'm sure you paid for all of it.
Some of the time.
Yes. As most inhabitants of Thrin happen to sometimes pay for their goods.
Oh, you know of his land?
Yes, I know of Thrin. I'm from the lands in the south of Thrin. Prius.
Oh. Prius.
Yes, and before you get any ideas, remember, you came to my campfire.
Yes, and I appreciate the food.
You two pick like ex-lovers, I must say.
Well, look at me. Who wouldn't want to be one of my ex-lovers? As I pat my rotund belly. I was much less me when I was younger.
Have you given up your life then for a life of fat and solitude?
No, but does seem that you are the only company to be had on the island.
As you say that, you hear in a lull in the thunder and the crashing waves, the choking of a man near the shore.
I'll sort of stand up and sort of rush to the water's edge and then just stand right near the water's edge.
Before you get to the water's edge, you do find this poor soul. There is a man barely able to stand who is dragging himself along the beach to your fire. Perhaps he washed up quite recently, so no one noticed him, but he is still alive, for what it's worth.
Hey, are you all right? Do you need a hand?
Water. Cold.
Yeah, there's lots of water. It's all around you.
I go up behind the big man and try to help the gentleman up, give him a shoulder.
I'll just pick him up by one hand, probably. I'll just... is that where you went?
This guy is a wisp of a man. He is old, gray in the beard, and long haired. He also is missing a leg, and that does not appear to be an old wound. Like he still has the pants that should contain a leg. They are soaked in blood.
So I pat James's character on the back. A strong one, aren't you? Take him to the fire. I've got to look at that leg.
What do you mean? You want me to put him on the fire?
No, next to the fire.
This man is so thin and I don't even mean physically, but like thin on the mortal coil, nearly dead. That even though he's practically blue, he's stopped shivering.
Cool. When we get him back to the fire, I begin treating him.
It's clearly a wound that he received in whatever shipwrecked him. His leg was not bitten off. It seems to have been like twisted off in the
like pinched between two pieces of wreckage or something.
Something like that, yeah. Like it didn't come off easy. The good news for you is that makes it an easier wound to close, and he will certainly bleed out if you don't. I guess this would be the first roll of the game. A medical
Sets it all, man.
a medical risk. So our first step is to set the stage. The GM describes the situation. The situation is that this man is barely alive. He's been tossed about in the waves. He's near hypothermic, although you probably don't know that word. You know that he's near dying from the cold, and you know that he's near dying from blood loss. You will have to stop the bleeding, warm him up, and probably feed him yourself. So then you tell me your approach.
Right. So the beginning of my approach was to take him near the fire, which James was kind enough to help with. Having him heat up, I'm going to begin by treating the leg, it being the most severe wound. I'm going to examine the wound, see if it can be closed or whether I have to put a tourniquet on it, and then perhaps amputate and close it. Using my knowledge of village medicine, I most likely have seen wounds like this from carts rolling over people's legs or something like that, and I'm going to attempt to, with whatever tools I have salvaged or have on me, try to treat this leg and stop the bleeding.
All right. So now I tell you the trait that you'll be rolling. God, I hope we're still doing this correctly. I believe this would be a wits scholarship roll, because that seems to be the only applicable two things.
Perform.
Yeah, perform. Yeah, dance his wounds free.
Or perform.
Persuade him, man.
Yeah, a lot of things, but sure.
Yeah, so wits scholarship. And also any dice you get from other sources, such as advantages.
Do we start each session with a hero point?
Yes.
You do start each session with a hero point. I'm going to also say that having a fire already ready and having food already ready is sufficient when treating one man, and having potentially 3 assistants. Like all of that together, I think is enough to give you a dice.
Stone is
I would
not
totally be assisting,
looking
yeah.
at the wound at all. He will not be looking at the wound whatsoever.
All right. So have an extra dice in your roll.
Okay, so
Then step 4 is before you roll. Step 4 is consequences and opportunities.
righto.
Are we joining him in this setting? The stage?
No,
No. Okay. So it's one person.
unless you also have medicinal backgrounds or traits or skills.
I mean, I'm willing to listen to.
Got a hammer. I can swing at his knee.
Yeah, that's giving him an advantage dice. But I don't think you guys are actually capable of rolling the.
Plus,
actual
if this is your
base
first time
check.
using it in the scene, you get an extra,
I'm-
dice. So
Yeah, I'm putting that wood piece in that guy's mouth, so he can bite on when he's.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So consequences and opportunities. The action is a risk because this man could die. So the consequence that you have to buy off with a raise is his death. I'm going to say that's only the only consequence is his death. You only need to get one raise to save this man's life. because I really don't see any other consequences. I don't see. I'll give you an opportunity in case you get an extra raise. The opportunity here is that you can dress the wound very efficiently and get him back on his feet very quickly. Like if you get an extra raise besides buying off his death, you'll be able to recover him faster and more superiorly.
Do you mean foot? Because he hasn't got feet, he's got a singular one.
Yes, I do mean foot. Get him back on his foot. Maybe even you can recoup something to act as a peg leg, like right away.
Nice.
So
Okay.
now we roll. If you end up with unused dice, the GM can choose to buy them for you. For each buy, you get a hero point, and he gains a danger point.
Only if there's a villain in the scene. So.
No, that's not true. I can buy them in any scene where you have unused dice.
The villain is cold and hunger.
Yeah, the villain is death, who stalks us all. I'm kidding. Anyway, so let's roll some dice.
So I roll the number of pips I have, D10, right?
No, you can just click the skill. You can just click the skill and it does it.
In the character sheet?
So yeah, no, you click the trait of the. So you go to the skill, and then you click the trait that you want to use, and then you just click the skill there.
So go to scholarship, click down wits. Then before you do anything, you should have clicked the box for an extra dice.
Well, I did not do that.
And then
We'll do it again and roll again.
So you can also go to the top and go +3 or +4. So if there's 4 extra dice that you need to roll, you can just click +4, and it will roll 4 dice. So.
Cool.
Bonus die 6. All right.
So so you said he also gets an extra die for flair, because this is his first time using scholarship in this scene. So you always get a bonus die every time that you use a new skill. So he should have an extra dice.
It's fine. He's done. He's got 2 raises. That's all he can spend them on.
So the way that this works for everyone playing at home, his dice that he rolled was a 4, a 6, a 3, a 2, and an 8. In order for him to get a raise, he needs to combine several dice together in order to get a 10. So if he needs to, like for example, if he adds 2 and 8 together, that's 1 raise. So basically, the fact that he has a 6, a 3, and a 4 would count as 1 raise. Even though it goes over 10, you still have to get to 10 in order to do that. So he uses all 5 of his dice to get 2 raises, basically.
Yeah. Well, I used 4 of them, and there's technically a leftover dice that he could purchase. But
Yeah,
I don't
well, that's true. Yes, you use 4 of them, but that's true. Mm-hmm.
Though, if we didn't want to give him the dice, though, I wouldn't mind the extra hero point. I could just use 6, 3, and then 4.
Yeah, you could, yes.
Anywho, so I have 2 raises. So I'm going to use my first raise to prevent this man's death.
You're going to take the opportunity.
Yeah, and then I'm going to use my second raise to take the opportunity to really, really sew this wound, suture it really well, clean it out, make sure it's not going to get horribly infected, sew all the arteries together, sew that flap of skin with lamb's gut, and call it a good day.
Of course, the man is still now recovering from a major wound and frontier surgery. So while you have exceeded all possible expectations in the situation, he's still not going to be up immediately. He, after maybe I would say, an intense 20 to 30 minutes of working on him to get him back on his feet. Eventually, you're sitting there, you're eating again. Perhaps you guys have found, to your great luck, some amount of alcohol has washed up on the shore intact, not filled with salt water, and you are passing it around when his eyes flutter open once again. And he rasps out, "Drink! Please, drink."
I hand the bottle to Parlo's character, whom I still don't know the name of. I'm assuming I'm on the. I had probably walked away to sit on my nice seat. So I hand the bottle to Parlo's character and indicate to give the man a drink.
I take the bottle, take a big chug myself, and then I hand it to him. I hand it to the nearly dead guy.
He doesn't have the strength to hold the
I was
bottle
gonna say,
himself.
well, okay, like I realized that when I was saying that, so I kind of like put it to his lips and pop his head up and try to pour some into his mouth for him.
So, right.
Tilt his head. You don't want him to choke.
He sips for a moment. He's barely able to take any, but for the first time, he does something other than moan and also sound like he's dying when a very satisfied, comes out and calms the tension. He lays back down, a great deal of strength seemingly having returned to him with the simple gift of drink. And he says, Friends, I would know the names of my rescuers.
I'm Eric, son of Eric.
A good Prian name.
Well, it's a good, solid name. It's run in my family for many a generation. These fine gentlemen, well, I have no idea who they are.
Oh, I did not introduce myself. My apologies. My name is Ricardo Mendez.
A Parisian.
One more time.
I'm sorry, you slight of hearing.
No, your accent is quite thick.
Oh, my apologies. Ricardo Mendez with a Z.
Rick, gotcha.
He's a Parisian.
And
From
you
the
can
land
call
of
me
Dorne.
Bjorn.
Bjorn from Thrinn, no doubt.
That is correct.
And you?
That's Big Man.
He's
Quiet,
muted.
Big Man.
He's a mute. My God. Has someone cut out his tongue?
Oh, sorry. I'm Stone.
I can see where you get the name, Stone. Thank you for pulling me from the flotsam. Friends, my name is... Well, people call me Bubbles.
People call me by my real name, Two Legs McGee.
They used to call me Two Legs.
Now they call me Bubbles. Bubbles. We play this game where we guess each other's origins. I would say you're from the ocean?
No, but I'm an old salty dog now, so many years. I remember in my youth when I got the name as a first timer on a ship. It's all so far in the past now.
I would have asked for a different name.
It's not always how it works, Please, this might be our final night. Does not look like this island is kind or habitable. And I have a sinking suspicion about the color of the sand. But
What colour is the sand?
rust. That's not the color of sand normally.
Maybe if you're in the desert. But,
Even then, I would ask friends, how my rescuers, please tell me, how did you come to be here? What fate befell you?
Oh, well, that's it's a tale, Bubbles. But suppose I'll go first. It's really, my life was a simple life. Wake up in the morning, get yelled at by the wife, pinch her ass, go harvest the vegetables. It was a good life. Night, go drink. Then one morning, woke up, pinched my wife's ass, went to go harvest the vegetables to find screaming, yelling, fire. Turns out a group of somebody from somewhere, no possible reasonable explanation as to why, decided to show up in our village, capture some of our people, take our harvest for the year, and then run back to sea like a bunch of lily-livered cowards. So, being that we, need that food to live, the town council got together and decided, well, we should send people after them. Having been in the militia for 20-odd years fighting off these people, happy in my retirement, grown twice the size because of it, I was obviously the easy pick, because good old Eric, son of Eric, he's the man you want in a crisis. So I went and boarded a vessel. The captain seemed nice enough, said he knew exactly where those men were from. He said, they're from Thrin, and I'll take you to them. I thanked the captain and got on board, said goodbye to the wife, hugged the children, told Eric, son of Eric, you'll be a good lad. You're the man of the house now. And we got under sea. Soon as land was out of shot, I found out that the captain was not exactly as honorable as one would have hoped from a captain, and found myself in chains, rowing. Was not looking good for Eric, son of Eric. But
you willingly became a slave?
Willingly had nothing to do with it, as I bend down and show the multiple contusions on the back of my head and the lash marks on my back.
I'm confused.
Yes, Stone.
But didn't you stay back? Because you said goodbye to Isa, whatever.
I think that was his wife's ass.
Yes, my wife's ass stayed on the shore, Stone. I got on the boat.
But you said to some other person called Eric's son.
That was my son.
Oh, I'm confused.
His name is Eric. He made an offspring by the name of Eric because
how do you do that?
So when a man loves a woman,
please,
her as well.
Please, you were in chains.
So,
I must know.
There I am, rowing. I actually lost some weight. It wasn't too bad. Made friends with the captain. Well, some things happened. Some beer was drank. I found an appreciation for rum, which I believe is what's in that bottle. It's very nice. I became the second mate of the ship. Now, he wouldn't agree to take me home, but he did agree that he was going to help me find those dastardly cowards who raided the village. And let it not be said that Eric, son of Eric, forgets his mission. Oh no, I will find those cowards and return what was taken to our homeland. But as we were on the sea, and as I was the second mate and had absolutely no sailing experience, well, let's just say Eric, son of Eric, may have been better served by farming vegetables. There was a storm, some rocks, some yelling, a giant octopus, and, well, now I'm here.
Eric, son of Eric, your village sent you alone?
Yes.
What a strange practice.
Well, all of the other militiamen kind of died when the raiders attacked, and, well, I may have volunteered. It seemed like the right
grow
thing.
tired of pinching the wife's ass?
Well, no, but every so often you have to spice things up a bit, Ricardo.
The mistress of Wanderlust. I understand this very well.
I don't have a mistress, Ricardo.
It was a phrase. A
Oh!
Parisian phrase.
Yes. I've always been told that I never understood the
Intricacies of
subtlety
human
of-
language?
Yes, Ricardo.
Ricardo, forgive us. We are men salt of the earth, I can tell. But you, from a illustrious and cultured people, how could you find yourself on a desolate spit of God-forsaken land like this?
The short story is the mistress of Wanderlust. But, my tale is full of sorrow and... But it is best if I tell you, yes?
Yes, tell us more about your mistress, Ricardo.
Don't worry. You will be well
Do
acquainted.
they all have
with
golden tits in your land?
tits?
Tits!
Oh, you're talking about breasts. No, we do not cover our breasts in gold. That would be painful. Anyways,
If you say so.
since it appears that we are sentenced to death on this island, I have no problems telling you about my secrets. For if I go to the grave with this, then no one will hear about, Ricardo Mendez, master thief. Because that is I, the master thief of where I am from. You see, I have this friend. I'm just going to make sure I remember her name real quick. Yes. You can call her Isabella. She is not the mistress of Wanderlust that you talk, but she is non-relation but very close. Like a sister, but not really. Together, she and I, we struck fear in Pereza. We took what we wanted from everyone. It was a joyous life. When we wanted something, she and I got together and just simply took what we needed. However, doing this since a young age, there is only so much you can do before you grow tired of being a master thief. The people there, they lock their stuff behind vault and key, but a lot of times those lock and key don't change. You rob the place, you take what you want, a month later you come back. They haven't changed a thing. It's a very tiresome endeavor after a while. Much like how if you plow the same land too much, it bears no fruit.
That I understood.
The
I don't-
Parisians have a gift of metaphor.
Yes.
They say their lands are gold and their tongues are silver.
I have heard this, yes. We do not dip our tongues in silver, though.
It's a metaphor. You're the one who's supposed to
I imagine that would hurt.
I've licked silver before.
That
that
I
metal.
believe. You look like a man who would lick many liquids.
Please, what happened next?
Well, after drying Pereza of all its big fat whales, I caught wind of a organization in the Emerald Isles. An organization of cunning thieves, people who compete against one another. Not for glory, but for recognition among their peers. Isabella said that it didn't exist, and I was willing to strike out to find if this was the case. Needless
The journey to Emerald Isles from Perez is a common one. Merchant vessels come and go. How did that go awry?
Very simply. You see, I do not believe in spending coin. You do not gain wealth by spending, you see. So I found a suitable ship. I found a suitable barrel to hide in, and needless to say, I stowed away on a merchant ship. It didn't take long before the merchant ship decided that a shortcut through a storm would be better for their profits. No? I was perfectly fine running around the bows of that ship. No one seemed to notice. A lot of them were drunk. Incompetent fools, I might put. And when they decided the profits were too good, they went through that storm. Now, I know my way around rigging. I can climb. I can do things. But when an entire ship is a layabout, it didn't end well. I suspect most of them are on the bottom of the ocean, cursing their lack of misfortune, or incompetence, however you want to put it. Ricardo, on the other hand, no, I found a nice sturdy piece of wood, and I lay upon that wood for many a day and night. And then, lo and behold, I wash up here. The only island in the middle of the empty ocean, apparently no one has ever seen before.
Yes, 'tis a grim fate that befalls us all. But you there, the Bjorn, the Thrinian, you have the hands of an artisan, the eye of a crafter, and the microphone of somebody who's muted.
Yes, that is correct.
What?
I'm a blacksmith from Thrin, like I said.
How does a blacksmith from Thrin end up in the middle of
Well, you see,
uncaring ocean?
after making thousands upon thousands of standard swords and shields, one just tends to my expertise seem to be putting to waste. So I just decided to put out a word to see if I could find somewhere where they got decent metal, so I could craft something of exceptional quality, and something I could get recognition off of, something that could really make my mark. So I booked passage to Pereza, seeing as they're the land of gold, and their markets have been told to have traders from all over the world. So I booked passage with a merchant ship, and night fell on the ocean, and I took to grab some of my medications to help me to speak with the gods.
Hold up, one moment. I have a question about this medication. You intoxicate yourself in order to speak to invisible people?
Invisible? No, they are quite
It's
real.
The
I've seen them.
Thrinian belief structure is storied and complex. It is more ceremonial than Parisian gods, Ricardo.
We
It
only
involves
have
more
the two, but
pomp and circumstance.
no, they are not their names. No.
No. So you consulted your gods.
Yes.
And what
So
did they tell you?
I was grabbing some parchments and some paper to draft some plans, and I heard a voice led me out of the cabin. I look over the edge, and in the moonlight I see a little girl standing on the water. And I shout out to the crew, trying to get someone's attention because there's a girl standing out in the water, standing on the water. She has an umbrella in the moonlight. And I turn around to see these people. The crew had turned into like massive crab people or something. And they would grab me and try to pinch me with their pincers that seemed to be as long as a human's arm. But they were weak. Thank God they didn't tear off my arms. So I would punch and punch away until they swarmed me and threw me off the boat.
Right. Yes. What a terrible vision.
And this is why you do not
Vision.
use drugs to consult with the gods.
It seems that you underestimated the power of your substance.
No. I take those all the time. That's not
Stone's
what it
hiding
was. It
under
was
the,
real.
under the flag.
Yeah, like, oh no.
Crab people.
Always have a safe space and a friend. Anyway, my savior's stone. Your tale is the last of ours. Please tell me, how did you end up overboard at sea?
Mine was. Oh God. Well, I don't know where we're going because they didn't tell me. Need to know things. And we were adrift for days, at least. Well, more than 6 because I can't count any higher than 6.
That is unfortunate. How do you know how much money you have?
That's a good joke.
Well, there's 6 of us here.
No, friend. A lot less than 6.
1, 2.
Go on.
3.
3.
Right.
Nothing is free. It's 3, friend.
4.
We don't make fun of your accent, Ricardo. Don't make fun of his.
And 6.
You did make fun of his accent earlier.
No, I said I didn't understand it. That's not making fun of it.
Oh, okay.
Please, Bubbles. Try to keep up, you half
So
dead.
I said we were adrift for 6 days, and I like repairing things. So I spent I was repairing the ship, making sure that any leaks were plugged and stuff.
Adrift because of no wind.
We it was the food supply was going, and it was just running out. People were getting a bit annoyed. There's a bit of people weren't happy with the captain saying it's his fault. He brought a little girl on the ship. You shouldn't bring girls on the ship. Well, little girls. I mean, women. Adult women are all right, but little girls, it's bad luck.
Why is that? Women are perfectly fine to work the rigging and ships and stuff.
It is a superstition.
No, Ricardo. I've heard it many times. You don't bring women on a ship.
Ricardo,
it's a girl.
the northern-
women are fine.
The northern
fine.
countries have superstitions involving the fair sex on board a vessel.
Do they believe that it distracts the men? Because I think that drink would distract the men more than the females.
The saying goes that Mother Ocean is jealous, and a sailor, once he steps aboard a vessel on her seas, belongs to her as long as she sees fit. Another female aboard the vessel is an ill omen, drawing the ire, envy, and jealousy of the ocean.
Right. I just thought it was because the men would get into fights over her. But that makes a lot of sense.
She was older. She was. I don't know how old she was, but I think she's older than 6.
How old are you, Stone?
More than 6.
I mean,
Stone, I think I'm gonna like you.
Please
But
don't. The crew, they were rebelling. They were mutinous. What happened?
Well, they weren't mutinous, but they were like they were, they were hungry, and they sort of, I was like, no, we we can't like, well, I was just basically saying that we shouldn't, you shouldn't like go and try and kill the captain and stuff like that, because that's not the right thing to do, because he's like the captain, and they were like, ugh and stuff, now they are, and then yeah, but well, things were like, oh God, what's the word? Where people were a bit angry and like anything will make them like even angrier. What's the word I'm looking for? They put the stuff in barrels, and it's they put it in the metal cannon things. What are they called?
Cannons.
Not the cannon. What's the barrel called? It was like a barrel of I can't remember. It explodes, blows up stuff.
Powder keg.
Gunpowder.
Yeah, it was like a keg ready to go up. That's the word, keg.
Oh, he's saying the whole ship was like a powder keg ready to explode.
Yeah. And basically what happened, they all start, it just, someone had an extra ration that they shouldn't have had or something, and they started getting mad, and it was this little girl, and they wanted to like cut her and do horrible things. So I stepped in the way, and and there was loads of like fighting on the ship, and there was dead bodies everywhere, and I mean I did smash a few skulls in because I sometimes don't know my strength. I'm really sorry.
Good for you, lad. Good for you.
at least you have morals, Stone. That can be said about most men, is that they give up, or they give up their morals when hunger comes. It seems that you're a man of conviction.
You protected the little girl, but how did you end up at sea? What was the fate of the crew in the vessel?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, after it settled, they tied me up, and then they threw me off board.
Oh.
How do you escape your bindings while in the ocean? That is normally a death sentence to most.
Did they tie you with rope?
I just broke them.
What, like, you just... And then you're free?
I mean,
Yeah.
look at the
Yeah.
boy, Ricardo. He could probably bust his way out of an Iron Maiden.
I mean, do you really think he could bust his way out of an Iron Maiden?
Why are you making your maidens out of iron?
It's a torture device used in southern islands.
Yes, you put,
It's an iron coffin to encase prisoners. Sometimes they have spikes pointing inward, but not always.
you mostly just heat it up.
The South is a terrifying place.
Only if you get caught, my friend.
Everywhere can be terrible.
Look at me. You think I would not get caught? Ah!
Or maybe
Yes.
with
Yeah,
your
I-
hand in the cookie jar, but that's about all.
But I don't know the fate of them. I personally hope that they've all. Well, I hope the little
Oh,
girl's
what
all
of the girl? What happened to her?
He doesn't know. They threw him overboard. Don't pester the poor boy. He's had a hard time. We all have.
Have an extra helping, Stone.
I'm afraid our time's only going to get worse, gentlemen. Now that I've had a sense or two and food in my belly and drink in my bladder, it's becoming ever more clear to me. We're doomed to die.
Bubbles, how did you get here?
I'm going to sound silly, but aren't we all doomed to die anyway?
Ha ha ha! Right, you are.
Death is
Stone.
inevitable,
soon.
but it really matters what you do with your life. Have you lived a life that is worthy of you dying alone well, not alone, but of starvation on an island filled with red sand?
No, I'm just an honest, good sailor. I have well over 1,000 journeys under my belt.
It's
there's
always the 1,001st that puts you on the island, yes?
Yes, it would seem. I was trying to do one last thing to put something away for pension. You youngins never think about that, but there's no organized pension amongst the charter crews. You have to find a Parisian bank and put your money away, and I hadn't. And I'm old, and I wanted to retire.
I probably have some of your money if you've done that.
So I took this last job well past my prime, well past the vigor of my youth, and there's nothing special about the trip. In fact, there isn't even anything special about how I wound up overboard. It was a mistied knot in a swinging yard iron, and I went over, and the crew I served with was the superstitious sort that doesn't dive in after anyone. It turns out that their superstitions are real, because here we are, gentlemen, on the island of false hope. Some of you, all of you, in fact, do not seem to be particularly seasoned sailors, all coming out for some fresh adventure, but every sailor knows the story of the island of false hope. It's rust-red sands, and its strange spire.
Yeah, I hear that's a story. It's quite a good story.
The gist of it is that anybody who's lost at sea washes up here, no matter where they're lost at sea. And if they're not off the island again by sunrise, the island kills them.
Yeah, I hear that as well. Yeah, that's the story that I know.
Then why are we sitting here telling tales of how we got here? Why aren't we making raft?
Why do we need to make a raft?
If the island kills us at sunrise, dear friend,
What-
perhaps we
what
should
island?
leave the island.
It does seem like a good plan.
Don't you think we should first explore the island?
Didn't you try that?
I alone
Hang
did.
on, what island are we on?
The island of false hope.
I jump up and stand up on the on the mast. What?
Bubbles pulls himself he's been like lying down, recuperating. He sort of pulls himself up on one of the benches for the first time and says, "No, there'll be no mast or raft or safety. There's nowhere near enough flotsam and jetsam. And look at the tide displacing all of these things on the shore like this. We would never be able to fight against it without 12 men, all with rows, and even then, be an excruciating time. No, the reason it's called the Island of False Hope is it saves you from the sea, but dooms you to die mere hours later. There's no escape." And with Bubbles being all forlorn and like old salty sailor character, we're going to take a break because we've been going for an hour.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in about...
Oh, wait. Before we do, Dave, please. Please have a mod or yourself put up a straw poll on who had the best told story.
Stone.
Probably.
There were a
But
lot of good ones.
I would like to throw it to the chat and see what the chat thinks was the best told story.
Chat.
Stone.
Stone.
You're trying to... chat?
Don't
Eric, son of Eric. There we go. Yeah, there we go. See, I can also rig the election. So, but then when you're done with that straw poll, yeah, we can go to break. Bubbles, the now one-legged old salty sea dog, has just gotten through with saying, "Face it, We're all going to die here once the sun rises and the island of false hope kills us. He's doing that thing where he says the line again after the break, like an old 90s show.
Or 80s.
Or 80s.
Or 70s.
Those shows that do that. In various times. He just finished saying that line when you all involuntarily jump out of your seat briefly when the shrill cackle of a high-pitched feminine voice emanates from immediately behind you.
Holy shit!
I can get you off the island, says an old hag as she walks into the light of the fire, carrying with her a long branch-like walking stick. Yes, I can ensure your safe passage from the island of false hope.
And who
Do
are
you have a boat then? Is that what you got? You've got a boat.
Bubbles, gets behind the bench and puts it between him and her, and he says, "Careful, lads. I know a sea witch when I see one."
Oh,
But
you
see,
are
what?
going a little overboard. There is nothing wrong with the elderly. In fact, we should listen to them more often. They are full of
Oh.
wisdom. Please,
You're such a-
woman
Yes.
of elderly age, please tell us, what exactly can you do to help us get off this?
Flattery will get you nowhere. He's right. I'm a sea witch.
I have no idea what that is. I'm sorry.
Sea witches are... Well, they're witches of the sea. I don't know how else to
Oh,
put it.
really? That's
The-
good.
They're...
This must be a.
I'm glad
Well,
you cleared that
I guess
up.
it's not a southern thing. Ricardo doesn't know what it is.
No, it's a... Sailors know never to... Well, to avoid sea witches, they try and lure men with arcane
sticks?
deeds.
I thought you was going to say false hopes and promises.
No, no. I am a trustworthy sea witch. Bubbles squints
Is
his
she
eyes.
actually... Sorry, I'm talking in character. Is she actually saying she's a sea witch?
Yes, she said. Oh no, I'm a sea witch. That's what she said when Ricardo was like, "Don't call old people names." And then she came back and said,
she
"No,
says she's trustworthy and that she can get us off the island. I say we listen to her.
There's
Yeah.
only one thing you need to realize here is that if she lives on this isle, then it won't kill us in the morning.
No. See, your friend is correct. The island will kill you at sunrise.
Oh, well, that sucks.
The island kills all who have ever been at sea at sunrise. For the island despises the ocean itself.
Yes, Stone.
I've got a question.
Yes?
Why?
Because the island despises the ocean itself. And therefore kills all who have been at sea.
But surely it's at sea as well. Is that not a contradiction?
No, it is land, so it is not at sea.
It makes sense.
It checks out.
The island doesn't float, so it's not on the ocean. Therefore, it's land and is not at sea.
Stone, be quiet. Let her speak.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm glad we're working out all of these expositionary details. I was going to find it hard to force them in later. She tucks the branch to Bubbles. She says, "You're going to need that because you're all coming with me if you want to live."
As frou-frou as it has been, gentlemen, I will continue to exist. So I will go with the old lady.
She said she's trustworthy. That's good enough for me.
Hang on.
Stone,
hang
go
on.
ahead and grab Bubbles.
Stone.
Hang on. Hang on. Hang on.
Yeah, Stone.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a cost or something?
She didn't mention anything about a cost.
Oh, no, there's going to be a cost.
Oh.
As
Well.
long as it's not more than 6 coins, I'll be all right.
I'm a
You
sea
have
witch
6 coins, Stone?
on a barren island with no life and no, port. I don't care about your gold. Anyway,
Oh.
come to my hovel we'll discuss things in greater detail in the comfort of the glow of my cauldron fire, etc.
Stone, grab Bubbles' right arm. Let's carry him.
I'll just pick him up.
You just pick him up.
Bjorn, Stone is very strong.
I'm probably about 6'5".
All
So I'm
right.
nearly like a foot taller than anyone else. Maybe even 6, because it says in the book like 6'6" is the average
Yeah,
height. now.
you took the big trait, right?
Yeah.
I took the large, yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, so he's giant. He's
Yeah,
on.
you're a big man.
He's huge. So yeah, and Bubbles is an older gentleman on the outside of his, at the other end of his long, salty life. So he's, he's thin and small and tiny, and you can pick him up no problem.
Plus, he's
So-
missing the weight of one leg.
Right, then that's,
Okay. Stone, pick Bubbles up.
Yes, that is what I said about
I
5
don't
minutes ago. Thank you for catching up, Bjorn.
listen, lads. Be on your guard. I don't trust her for a second. Neither should you.
She said she was trustworthy.
Look, I may be
So did that
thick, but I'm
captain
not
who enslaved
stupid.
you.
Oh, he was all right.
I can see already, Eric, you're gonna have a hard time even if we make it off this island.
I don't see what you mean.
So Stone carries Bubbles, and the rest of you follow her along the beach. And Bjorn, as you follow her, you recognize, because you previously tried to explore the island, you recognize that following her has gotten you to a part of the island that you couldn't previously get to.
Yeah, further.
You move further along the coast, and you get to a part where sort of the inland becomes rocky, and there's a cave. And she, and there are like hanging trinkets and baubles and, what's that word for when it looks like a person? Effigies. There are hanging effigies in front of the cave entrance. And she's like, please come in, make yourselves at home. Don't touch anything. Don't drink anything. Don't eat anything.
Oh,
It's all
don't worry.
very-
I have no intention of touching anything.
It's all very dangerous and could probably kill you or something.
Do I have to hunch down?
No, the cave entrance is big enough. And although you do have to sort of like, as you get into sort of the livable space where she has chairs and stuff, that's a little too small for you.
Probably
but,
bang my head.
but if you sit on the floor rather than a chair, you're sort of fine. And she leads you into what appears even to be a decently furnished space with rugs and tapestries and a too nice table, like elegantly carved mahogany table that is really out of place. And bookcases and books, which are mildewy, and a cauldron.
I
and
imagine
all
a lot
the-
of stuff washes up on this shore. So.
A lot of stuff washes up on the shore.
Yeah.
So things, it's well furnished. It's not consistently furnished. And she's got a big cauldron, and it's, bubbling, and it's like purple or, some impossible color for a cauldron to be. It's like, please come in, take a seat, etc.
I walk in and take a seat.
Put that down. She said not to touch anything.
No, don't
I'm not
take
touching anything.
it.
Do you think it meant the
in the
seat?
You said take a
Stone is
seat. I'm
Stone is
making it.
Stone is in the process of taking a seat.
No,
I
sit
know
in
that you're
it,
making
don't
a joke,
take
and I'm
it.
taking it literally because
Doesn't
that's the
sit
thing.
in it. Oh my God, you guys are thick. All right, so who wants to live?
I
raise
would like to live.
I just like, well, I have so much left to do. It'd be unfortunate and disappointing if
stirring.
my life ended right now. So
She's
yes,
stirring the cauldron.
I wish to live.
Bubbles is the only one to not raise his hand. I was like, come on, you want to live.
He's
an
an
old-
old man at the end of his life.
And a man who's heard enough about sea witches. Lads, be careful what you agree to do for her. They're tricksters and don't trust her is what I'm saying. He's like, phooey with you. Everybody wants to live. Sure, there's going to be a cost, but, I'm not just going to hand out mystical saving, etc. for free.
I've got a question.
Yes?
How comes it hasn't killed you?
Because I've never been at sea, and the island hates people who've been at sea.
How did you get here?
I was born here.
By who?
A person who'd been at sea, and then the island killed them.
You must be very frugal if you lived a life full to this old age by yourself from birth.
Does she know how to speak?
I'm a sea witch. Being a witch helps.
But you were
Anyway.
also a babe.
Wolves raised me or something. As she's stirring the cauldron,
There's wolves here.
she pulls the ladle out, and there's laundry on the other side. And she hangs
All
it.
of this is making a lot of sense to me.
Right. So everybody but the old fart wants to live. Excellent. So there's a cost.
Well, since Bubbles doesn't want to live, can he just pay it?
Well, what's the cost? If it's just 6 coins, I mean, I've got 6 coins.
It's not monetary. I don't need money.
Well, why are you saying it costs something?
Oh, sweet summer child. It's going to be quite difficult for Stone. But for the rest of you,
Stone, I have a request. No more talking. You just nod. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't understand.
It's
you
fine.
don't need to understand.
look.
I think he's asking really good questions, Ricardo.
Look, that's not okay. We'll get there. Here's the thing. I'm a sea witch. I
You
want.
said that.
It has been established.
I feel like it bears repeating for you, Stone.
I'm a sea witch, and
Right.
as a sea witch,
Right.
what is of value to me
Mhm.
are more metaphysical things.
What does
More.
that mean?
Oh Jesus.
Well, the coin is physical, Stone. And
Was it
your
like
questions,
stone?
I don't know
your
what that means.
questions are metaphysical. So don't give her any more questions.
I mean,
But she wants metaphysical things, so shouldn't he ask more questions in that scenario?
No, I'm trying to get him to be quiet. I wish to hear the cost, not any more questions.
all right.
Then
So
you should
here's-
ask her what the cost is.
Shush, please.
Well, if it's more than 6 coins, I can't afford it.
Stone.
Here's the thing. I can get you safe passage off the island. Guarantee you won't be here at sunup. And you'll be somewhere relatively safe. And you'll be somewhere that will allow you to continue your various journeys and adventures. In exchange, I need each of you to offer me something metaphysical. Something like...
I've got an offer.
Yes?
Don't say 6
What
coins
about-
or I'll slap you.
What about if I picked you up and tossed you in the sea, and then you have to help us out anyway?
Well, just help myself out. First of all, I'll just leave myself, and then I won't have to save you at all. And I'll be really mad too, so I'll probably curse you in some way so that it's even worse than just being killed by the island.
Yeah, like
Okay.
something along the lines of always being hungry, but whenever you eat, you're still hungry. I've heard of these before. Please,
I'm always
old
hungry.
lady, continue. Don't mind Stone. He is...
No, I understand. I'm not holding it against him at all. So, to cut to the chase, you need to offer me the payment that you want in exchange for your life, and I'm the one who's going to tell you if it's enough.
6 coins.
I walk over to him and I just fucking slap him across the face. I told you I would slap you, Stone.
Ricardo, that does not seem like a great plan. He
Go
is
easy
much
on the
larger
lad.
than you.
Yeah, go easy on him. He doesn't words well. And this is all very complicated even for an old man like me.
No, that was Bubbles.
that
not
was
the
Bubbles.
Sewage. I was very confused for a second.
Yeah,
I'm actually
Bubbles has a
hermaphrodite.
normal male voice, and the hag has she does this, she does the thing. It's a little
Yes, wonderful.
right. So anyway, now I'm the hag again, in case there's been some confusion. Look, you, Eric, son of Eric, you want to get off the island? You want to go save your family and your village, etc.
I do.
Surely you're willing to put up quite a hefty price for all of that, for the chance to get back out there and save your family and your wife and your child, Eric, son of Eric.
Perhaps you can offer her the name to the right to name your next child.
Ricardo, don't even joke about such things.
Well,
Yeah, but yes, speaking of children,
No.
No? Okay, well, that's fine.
but that is entirely physical, old lady.
Is it, though?
A firstborn, yes, I believe that sits in the realm of physical. I mean, maybe physical means
No,
something
that's...
else.
Well,
This is what you have to be careful about. She makes you a deal that sounds good, but then she twists your words, and what you agreed to do isn't quite what she does.
I offer the enjoyment of drink.
Interesting. You like rum, and you're willing to trade that away. Interesting. Yes, I'm willing to sign a contract for your enjoyment of drink. Absolutely, 100%. And she pulls out of her bosom. It's like one of those things where it's like, oh, you thought she had breasts, but she pulls out like a parchment and an ink thing, and that's what was actually propping up her
I
shirt.
was wondering why your breast was square.
They were considerably. No, I will not be drawn into your accent, sir.
And
You were very quirky for her age, yes.
She rolls out on the table in front of you a contract that already says Eric, son of Eric, agrees to give up his enjoyment of drink in exchange for rescue from the island of False Hope. And it's got already has the wax seal at the top too, like the whole 9 yards. And then she produces the fountain tip pen and says, all you need to do is sign here.
I don't know much about witches, but this is strange, yes? This is not normal.
Careful, son. I know you want to live and you've still got plenty to live for, but are you sure about this? Are you sure about what you're offering?
Well, Bubbles, do you have an idea to get off the island? Because before it was all doom, gloom, we're dead by dawn.
I know. I'm sorely tempted myself, but still, the stories I've heard.
Yes, but I have my wife's ass to get back to in my field of rutabagas.
And Eric, son of Eric.
And Eric, son of Eric. He's just a lad of 7. He can't really be the man of the house.
All right, you sign. And as soon as your signature is on the paper, it rolls back up into her hand and disappears back into her bodice, and says, well, so Eric, son of Eric, gets to live. Who else wants to live?
I've got 6 coins.
Oh, this is... I think Stone's going to die here, and not even because he doesn't want to make a deal. It's very sad, actually, when you think about it.
First episode, first character death.
So I will step forward and was like, is my patience enough?
Patience? Interesting. You mean you would become... you would give your patience... Interesting. How exactly would you phrase that deal to me, Ricardo Menendez? Sorry.
With a Z.
It's with the Z.
Right. Yes, well, that's pretty obvious.
Well, I like to think of myself as a man who waits for the bigger fish.
And you would give up that patience and become a man of impulse and recklessness in exchange for getting off of this island. That seems like a hefty fee.
Well, perhaps I should find something smaller then.
There's plenty of time to think about it. There's like 4 hours until sunrise.
I nudge Ricardo. Ask for golden breasts, lad.
No, we have those already. We just...
You told me you didn't.
Well, I mean... it's a metaphysical thing. The breasts are of a higher quality in Pereza than wherever you're from. It doesn't matter. I'm sure they're terrible.
I would argue, lad, you haven't seen my wife's tits. Out to here, lad.
So I have a simple question I have to ask of you.
Yes, of course.
If I offer you a child, my child, but then I never have one.
Like your firstborn.
Yes, if I never have a child, what then?
It's fine. I'm happy to accept the contract for a firstborn child. Always great. Everybody always has a firstborn child.
I have a question.
Yes.
Now, assuming Ricardo has a child, does he have to, like, deliver the child to the island?
No.
Do you just claim the child?
It's all magic. I'm going to magically take your love of drink from you. You don't have to deliver it to the island to me.
Well, I mean, that made sense to me. I wasn't quite sure.
Right, the firstborn child thing, it's like, it's like the old bastard said, who's so onto my schemes and etc. It's not going to play out exactly as you expect it to.
Good, then. Sounds like a good deal, Ricardo. You should take it.
I see you are still thinking about it. Perhaps we should ask Bjorn if he has a metaphysical thing.
No, I'm just thinking to myself whether or not I already have a firstborn.
You could, you might already, and that is even better for me. Really, just gets to work on it.
Would the young unmet Ricardo just show up here?
Look, don't.
Ricardo, son of Ricardo.
That is how the old woman stays interested all these times. She's not alone.
You don't even know if you have a child yet, so I'm going to edge on the side of him not being named after you.
The ladies might remember Ricardo. You don't know.
I'm getting less convinced that you're going to have a firstborn child, but let's roll that back to, do you actually want to give your firstborn child to me in exchange for your life off this island? Very selfish,
I have no need for children.
Spicy.
The only thing I wish to leave is my legacy, but not one of children. They only slow people down.
This time she reaches into the sleeve of her robe and pulls out the parchment and the ink and the fountain pen and places it on the table before you. And it says, I, Ricardo Mendez, agree to give to the Sea Witch my firstborn child.
Instead of signing it, I'm going to nick my thumb and thumbprint some blood down. I'm just like...
Super magical. Excellent.
That is how we do it in Pereza.
Well, the more dramatic.
Blood are worth quite a lot more.
Yes, they are. She puts it in her sleeve and it vanishes. Woo! There's
How can you tell who signed your contracts in your country?
It goes along with the signature, but
look, he's being dramatic. He's in a Sea Witch's thing and he's giving up his firstborn child for his own freedom.
Come on, Eric, son of Eric. Are you not a romantic at heart like I am?
When they retell the story, all of this bickering that we did is not going to be in it. Just the part where he bit his thumb and it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool.
So when eventually they invent the internet and people watch this later, they'll remember the cool parts.
I'm sorry, I smell sulfur. What's happening?
That would be the fourth wall burning your retinas.
Bjorn!
You can't look right at it. You have to get the glasses.
Bjorn Svensson. Bjorn, talented artist, aspiring warrior, a history and a religion and a family. So much to lose if you die. What does Bjorn Svensson wish to trade for his life?
Still don't know if I like the concept of making a deal with the Sea Witch.
Well, you can preserve your conscience and turn to ash as the sun rises. It's a noble death, to be sure, a death free of corruption.
Yes, and it won't matter later because I can guarantee in 4 or 5 weeks, your name will be gone.
I mean, maybe he's already done something. He's only told you the story about how he got lost at sea.
Oh, he made swords.
What if he made a really good sword with his name on it?
Thousands of swords, though, Ricardo. Thousands
With his name on it.
Yes, and I'm sure you've planted thousands of seeds.
But those don't have his name on it.
I don't know.
I have made Eric son of Eric. The Eric line is secure.
I don't know. Maybe a slaver will come by and he will hop on board.
And then he would become friends with the captain and become the second mate. Eric son of Eric is a very resourceful lad.
It's hard to disagree with that. He was the first one to come up with something to trade.
He gave away his drink. I gave away something I do not have. That is the best type of deal you can do. When you bargain with someone else's money.
Well,
Ricardo, I'm not an expert in negotiations, but maybe you should not tell her how you have perhaps swindled her while we're still at her mercy.
The contract is signed. The thumbprint is on paper. I have swindled this woman, and she knows it.
Yep, he's totally got me.
Hook, line, and sinker, as they say.
Oh, you all should rush to also swindle me out of your freedom.
What do you think, Stone?
I'm not
You're not what?
thinking.
Yeah, are you not thinking, or are you actually thinking?
Well, like I said, I've got 6 coins.
Stone, I have a wonderful idea. Offer your love of poetry.
Well, why don't you offer your eternal wealth? You seem to not seem to remember how much you actually have, so I doubt it matters much to you.
No, I've got 6 coins, look.
He opens his
75
hand, he's got
coins.
like 50 coins in there. It's like,
I'm amazed that they let him keep his coins when they threw him overboard.
I'm
and
amazed
that
he
he
floated.
allowed them.
I don't need money.
Why not? You can buy things with it.
Yeah,
Okay,
but there's no stores. There's no shops on this island.
Yeah, but if you can
I
get
live in
off
a
the
cave.
island, then I mean,
I
do you know what
don't-
I mean?
I can't. Like I
You
could,
can just-
but I could never come back.
But you could then spend that money in a sweet shop or something.
Yes, but it's only 5 coins. Then it's not quite like if a chest of treasure washed up on the shore, and I wanted to go inland to live a life of luxury, maybe. But that's
But these are
not-
coins.
Eric.
I mean, you just said to me that you could get off the island really easy.
Eric, son of
I mean-
Eric.
Oh, well,
Yes,
You're a father.
yes.
You've raised a child.
Several.
Perhaps you could help Stone with his situation, guide him in this very complicated situation that I understand and I feel a great deal of pity that,
Stone, what do you like?
stuff.
Why doesn't he
Name
give
a
up his
thing that
vast
is
intelligence?
I don't want to turn him into a literal rock.
His ability to float, then. I don't know.
Do you have any friends, Stone?
No.
Family?
No.
What is your...
People you know? Do you know
No. He knows us. Don't say that. Don't say that.
People you know other than us?
Yes, other than the people in this room.
More than 6, yeah? More than 6 of us.
Just one name. Just one name of a person you know that isn't us.
Do I have to know them?
It's actually kind of funny because there is actually literally 6 people in this room. So,
Now there are 6, yes.
No, there's more than 6.
oh my god. Oh, sweet Pauper, save me from this man.
This is a very trying situation. Bjorn, have you thought of anything? Maybe we can give Stone more time to.
I don't think that's going to help.
Yeah, well, I don't got all night. I got spells and shit.
Perhaps I could give my my love of battle.
What? Really? That's like the entire reason you set out. I mean, I know you told them you were looking for a precious metal, but you really just like to
pick her
kill
up and
people.
throw in the water.
Your love of battle?
This is a role-playing game. You're free to do it.
It changes quite a bit in my character, but it's for my life. I mean, I imagine it had to be something good.
I mean, I will totally accept that. Don't get me wrong. But, I don't want to fleece you.
Just as a out of character note, I gave up an intangible love of drink, which Wreckage will then turn into something, I'm sure. And Henley gave up an NPC that doesn't exist.
Yes.
So maybe not something that completely changes the core of your character.
Or I mean, if you wanted to be, you said you wanted to be like a rage Viking or whatever, right? Why don't you actually give up your ability to
Calmly reason.
Yeah, your reason. Like things like that.
I'm sure that won't at all bite you in the ass.
No, but it works with your character.
Yeah. Or you could just say, I'm happy to be triggered for the rest of my life.
You could forget the location of your homeland.
You could forget that you're a Viking.
You could forget your homeland.
That's what I was thinking was
Yes. Yeah, they're making some decent suggestions. You have a god and a religion and a culture, and you don't need any of those things to go and be a warrior artist like you desire to be. Perhaps,
Why don't you give up your
country?
satisfaction?
You give up my love of country.
your country. Yes, give up your
You're right.
country.
That is the most intangible thing ever. Because if you don't actually love your country, which it sounds like you don't, because you're not from Pereza. I understand it is not the best place to grow up.
Ricardo, shut up. Let him have his moment. Bjorn, Svensson, I would accept your offer to give up your country in exchange for your life. And she produces another parchment and quill that somehow, magically, already says, we get it, Bjorn Svensson agrees to give up his country in exchange for his life and safety off of the island of False Hope. Sign here.
Before I sign it. And there is no other way off this island that you know of?
No, I'm really the only way for someone to get off before sunrise alive. Unless that person has magic themselves. She sort of like scans the room.
I'm starting to believe that maybe that person might be Stone.
I don't feel good. I don't feel right about this. But I'll sign it anyways.
Yes. Well, you'll have so long to come to terms with. She disappears the parchment again. Right. So now we all have to work very, very carefully to help Stone come
What
up
does
with.
Stone not have that Stone would be happy to give up?
Magic.
There you go.
6 coins?
He will give up his magic. Is that enough?
He doesn't have magic.
I'm sure the magic of youthful thinking is his.
No. Come on. It's got to be something he actually has that
His ability to
He
count.
doesn't
He
have anything.
doesn't have the ability to count.
You don't know that.
I
What about
do
if he
know.
can only go to 4 instead of 6?
He can only go to 5 right now, and he thinks 5 is 6. That's only one number worse.
Well, as far as I see it, that's like half
He
of his
gives up a
intelligence.
number.
Well, there is one thing.
Oh yes, Stone, please.
Even though I don't really know anything about it, but I was trying to find my heritage because I'm an orphan.
Oh, you're an orphan, and you wish to find your
Ah,
father.
that makes so much more sense, Stone.
That is a tragedy. How can we spin that into an eldritch? I mean, how can we spin that into an ill-advised pact with a sea
Don't
witch?
like magic. Don't like magic.
Yeah, it's fine.
Don't
It's fine.
trust it.
It's fine. Stone agree to give.
Bjorn,
Yes.
I've got it. 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 I've got it.
I've got
Samuel-
a question
Yes.
before we do anything else. How do we know that no one has got off the island?
You don't. That is part of the conundrum.
But when we know, but the stories must have come from somewhere.
Right. From people who made deals with me.
Okay, well, I want to forget how I got off the island.
By making a deal with me.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, you want to know how I'm going to get you off the island?
no, I want to forget how I get off the island.
You want to forget how you got off the island? Well, unfortunately, I can't do that. Very
Why?
actually clever.
That's intangible thing, is it not? A
It
memory?
is an intangible thing, but
Well,
it'll just be able to tell.
you've already got a firstborn. You've already got a country. I mean,
Yep.
What
No,
else
these
do
are
you
all
want?
very great. I've got a great one for you, Samuel. And if you say no, that's fine. You have to sign the contract after all. But how about this? You've got a dad. You don't even know who he is. How about I, Samuel Stone, agree to give up the blood of my father in exchange for getting off the island of False Hope? That sounds pretty good. He's, you don't even know him.
Yes, and it's not like you carry around your father's blood. So
It's just like the deal that Ricardo made where he so obviously fleeced me.
can I not just forget how I got off the island?
It's not enough. I'm sorry, there's some complications with that.
Why is it not enough?
Well,
probably
because
less
the
than
moment we
6.
leave,
How about-
she'll
how about
make us
that?
forget. So
How about that?
maybe I'm already intending to make you forget. Yeah, it's-
No,
Stone,
that wasn't in the agreement, though, was it?
no,
no
but
one
no.
actually read the agreement, so you know.
Stone.
How about that? And I give you 6 coins.
He drives a hard bargain, old lady.
he really drives the hardest bargain, surprisingly.
His persistence is to be admired.
Stubbornness, like a rock.
Oh, a stone.
I see where his name comes from.
Yep.
I understand why other people not from Pereza have a hard time with metaphors. It's fine. I understand.
Yes, and they have hard time making deals, and you just got right in there and made the perfect deal, and you absolutely took me up the river.
Without the paddle.
It's an expression, Eric, son of Eric.
Oh. I was about to say, if there's a river and a boat, we should just look at that instead of the.
Right, yeah, no, I got out in front of that little misunderstanding because I'm starting to understand you all.
What about if I give up my fear of magic?
Your fear of magic.
Does that mean you love magic?
I don't like it. It scares me.
Interesting.
Then why are you signing a deal with an old lady?
No, she said something. There's no like. I mean, why can't it be?
He
Like,
doesn't really have much of a choice, Ricardo.
I mean, he has the choice of sign or spend the eternity talking to bubbles. By that I mean like 2.5 hours now.
Fear of magic. Give us your fear of magic.
Stone, do you swim?
not very
Yeah.
well.
No, that's fine. No. I can make another suggestion here based on the offer of the fear of magic. I would accept Samuel Stone, give up my fear in exchange for safe passage off. Isn't that even better? Now you'll be afraid of nothing. You're so cowardly in front of the face of Bjorn's story of his bad acid trip. And now you
What's
wouldn't
an
have to
acid trip?
you wouldn't have to fear scary stories or monsters or anything anymore.
The crab people, Stone. The crab people.
No, not the crab people.
No, but you wouldn't be afraid of them anymore. You wouldn't be afraid of the crowd people. I, Samuel Stone, promise to give up my fear in exchange for safe passage off the island of false help. Sounds like a winning deal.
Yeah,
I
sure,
would venture
certainly.
to bet that, Stone, if you don't mind me saying so, fear is probably the only thing that's kept you alive up to this point.
That needs the size of a goddamn tree trunk.
Yes, but tree trunks get cut down all the time.
Unless they fall on you and kill you.
And much like the old wisdom tale, if a tree can move, would it really ever get cut down? Exactly.
Anyway, Stone's agreed, unless that final bit of wisdom has given him some trepidation.
No.
Right then, she produces one from her, like the bottom of her dress, and it says,
This one's a little moist.
"Ew, Dave, why did you go there? I meant like her ankle."
Okay. From her
God, you're
sock.
you're disgusting.
I mean, she was walking along the beach. If it was all on her ankle, it probably still got wet.
She produces a parchment that says, "I, Samuel Stone, agree to blah, 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 blah." And she says, "It's fine, dear. I know you're illiterate. Why don't you just write down an X right here on the line?
What does that look like?
Just make it just a line and a line.
I'll just dip my finger in the
Ink.
in the pot and just
Perfect. Excellent. Accepted. So now that leaves Bubbles, the old salty, superstitious sea dog,
Perhaps you should give up your other leg.
who sat there in silence while you've all made what he would believe to be ill-advised deals. Isn't that right, Bubbles?
I like how you're talking to yourself like a crazy person.
and Bubbles says, "That's right. I'm too old, really. There's no reason for me to risk my mortal soul or whatever else.
Why don't you give up your love for old ladies?
I have none."
Ah, then you have nothing to lose.
I'll give you the 6 coins. You can give me the 6 coins.
Thanks. He pockets the coins. I don't know. And then she says, "Bubbles, I understand exactly what you're coming from. I understand you don't trust the sea witch. I understand you've seen all these really ill-advised deals being made. That's fine. I get it."
I would feel much better about these deals, Bjorn, if she didn't keep calling them ill-advised.
It's like she's trying to sell me a used carpet.
I tell you what, Bubbles, tell you what. I think that there's something I could tell you that'll make you want to make a deal with me. And he sort of quirks an eyebrow. He's like, "That's right. I think I can convince you to make a deal with me, and it'll be a deal even in your favor. I can guarantee that." And he's more suspicious. "All you have to do is come over here and let me whisper that to you."
I mean, we're all adults here, minus one maybe, but I would like to hear what would change.
I know you would, but I can only tell it to Bubbles. She's also finished doing her laundry now. She's taken it all and strung it up, and it's all the exact same like moth-eaten robe, sort of gray. She's got like 20 of them. Curse me for being a fool. He sort of hobbles over and he's like, fine, I'll humor you. You can tell me the secret that's going to make me make a deal.
So I lean into Stone. I'm just like, you see what she's doing right now, Stone? This is how she casts her spell. Watch this. He'll come back and he'll be like, "Oh, I'll sign the contract." You watch. Casting magic.
Should I stop it?
I don't know. Do you have 6 coins on you?
Oh, he's got my coins now.
Oh, that is unfortunate. And I lean back and cross my arm.
I'll lean into him. I'll lean into Ricardo and go. I could pop her head back as it.
Bubbles walks over up to the old hag, and the old hag whispers in his ear, and it's not like one word or anything. Like, she sits there for a while, and as she's whispering and there's a range of emotion that passes over Bubbles' face. Like shock, and then a scowl, and then anger, and then like pity is sort of his last one.
Yeah,
and then
I'm leaning into Stone. It's
like a sorrow, like a resignation.
His face changes because the spell is working, my friend. All of the emotions that you see, they are the 7 stages of being magically cast upon.
See, I don't like magic.
And then after about 5-6 minutes of whispering and conversation, without any of you getting to see the contract, he signs a contract with the Sea Witch.
Magic, my friend. That is pure and simple magic.
Now, for the folks at home, let's go back and have each person say what they gave the Sea Witch. You, June, what did you agree to give the Sea Witch?
Eric, son of Eric, gave up his love of drink.
Ricardo, what did you give the Sea Witch?
I gave my inevitable firstborn.
Bjorn, what did you give?
My love of my country.
And James, what did you give?
I gave up my fear.
Yeah, that'll all be fine. So, with the contract written by Bubbles, she magics it away and says, "Come, we all have to go deeper into my cave to get, rescued for me to fulfill my end of the contract." And as she skulks deep into the cave, that's where we'll take our 3 to 5 minute breaks and spend another hour. When we last left our intrepid sailors, and well, what's the right word? Actually, what's the word for someone who's been marooned?
Maroony.
Marooned.
Gilligan.
Right. When we last left our intrepid Gilligans,
Castaway.
Yeah, our castaways,
Tom Hanks.
our Tom Hankses. They wish. They had just made ill-advised deals with a sea witch.
Please stop calling them ill-advised. She said she could be trusted.
It's true. I trust her
She did.
inherently.
She also called them ill-advised deals herself. They had just made ill-advised deals, I apologize, Eugene, with the sea witch, and are now heading deeper into her cave for her way off of the island. As you enter a sort of cavern that's underneath the original room, you find that it largely appears to be a wine cellar. There are large barrels, much like alcohol or wine barrels, stacked up on the walls. And this also appears to be where she keeps, like food and vegetables and stuff, like salted pork and dried things and pickled things and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's her cellar. And she's like, all right, come, this way.
Look at all this, lads. This is well provisioned.
I mean, I have to eat. I don't survive off of the metaphysical deals I make with shipwrecked sailors.
I just assumed
she would have been
magic.
able to go and buy something nice, like some sweets.
Eric,
Yeah.
you want a bottle of wine before you lose your love of alcohol?
He's already lost it.
No.
Signed the contract. And I already have your son and your country and your fear. Don't worry about it.
Firstborn, not son. I might have a daughter first. You don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Firstborn son. I know. We agreed. I'm not trying to mince words here. It's in the contract. I can't do anything.
Firstborn, not son.
Firstborn. Right. Oh, right. Firstborn. Just period. Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't need to be. I'm not sexist. I'll take a daughter. Anyway. So here's how we're all going to get off the island. And by all, I mean you 5.
You're not coming with us. Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I like it here. I got a sweet deal making horrible, ill-advised deals with shipwrecked sailors. Anyway, she kicks a barrel, and the front falls off and it's empty.
Where do you put your wine?
Who's first? She says, patting the barrel.
Fuck it. I climb in there.
Excellent. She closes it behind you and then like bangs it shut with a little mallet.
I bang it back.
And I'm just making sure it's nice and sealed. Next, she kicks another barrel open.
Just making everyone feel better. I haven't actually died yet or anything like that in here.
And, no, he's fine. There's plenty of air. Don't even worry about it. Next.
Isn't climbing in barrels what got you into this mess, Ricardo?
And it's going to get me out, good sir.
Yeah. The only way out is through, as they say.
Yeah, I step up and jump in
All
the
right,
barrel.
Bjorn. She closes it. Eric. You're next.
I guess it's my turn now. Stone,
Well,
are you
I have to go get
okay?
a special barrel for Stone. Maybe
Stone?
even more like a crate.
2 barrels together.
Stone, are you all right?
I don't like enclosed spaces.
It's fine. It's fine.
You
I'll get him a
shouldn't
nice
have
big
any
one.
fear left. Just pointing that out.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Right, Eric.
I get in the barrel.
She closes the barrel. And Bubbles. She puts Bubbles in a barrel. Right, Stone.
He has a lot more room than the rest of us, though.
I'll be right back. And you guys hear. And she's pushing like a big, like, you know, in like an Indiana Jones movie, the big crate that would have like a marble statue in it.
Like a square one?
Yeah.
That's
And she like pries it open and it's empty. And he's just like, all right, get in. Stone, please.
Why?
This is how you're going to get off the island.
Stone, it's okay. Just get in the box.
How are we gonna get? But we.
I'm glad you asked.
No more questions, please.
There is a bee.
Like a bumblebee.
A bee that is native only to this island. It's called a royal bee.
With cheese.
And if you take the wax from their hives and use it to seal a wooden barrel, usually, but crate in this case, the magic of the bee's wax will transport you to another similar container somewhere. It's great.
But it could be anywhere.
Yeah. Not here.
Right? But we could end up in a crate in the ocean.
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, but it could.
Sure.
I don't really like the sound of that.
Here, take this. In fact, this will make you feel better, Stone. Here is a little cask of the royal bee's wax. I'm giving it to you extra so that if you find yourself in a precarious situation, you can do this again.
All right. We'll take the beeswax.
It's like a little barrel. Like actually, it's kind of like, you know, the little barrel that you would hang underneath a Saint Bernard.
Before she closes the lid, I mean, what, do you just rub it on there, the outside, yeah?
No, you use it to. It's important that you use it to seal the thing. So I'm going to use it to seal the lids that I've just banged closed on all of your other.
Well, can you show me this so that I make sure it actually works on my friends?
Sure. Well, I'm going to have to wait until you're all going to have to do it all at once because of magic. But this is how you do it. And she will take some of the wax and seal Ricardo's barrel closed.
Yeah, as I'm saying, I'm just like, you know, it's a little early to go. And I just disappear, I guess.
No, you're still there. That's the point. She said you're all. It doesn't work until you all do it.
Oh, it's a little early to say we're friends.
That's not nice. You've all made an ill-advised pact with a sea witch together. Surely that's a bonding moment.
I mean, it will be after we get out of here.
Sure. Yep. All right. See, that's how you do it. She'll start going through and doing the other barrels. Please get in your crate so I can do you.
Right, I'll get in the crate.
She closes the crate.
Doing him was
am I
not part of
scared?
the deal.
Am I scared?
No.
You gave up your fear, bro.
Okay, well, I'm just making sure.
He's just like indifferent. He's like,
She
Thought I didn't like enclosed spaces. Turns out, I'm okay.
it's like, right, so remember me fondly, etc., etc. I've got what I want from you. You've got what I want from me. Don't write home. No returns, no refunds under any circumstances. Contract is legally binding in 10 states. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Supreme Court, something, something, something. Then she finishes sealing the crate on Samuel's crate. And as she does, you all... Samuel Stone.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You all feel the sudden rush as if you are falling. And in the same way as that fall that you take when you're just falling asleep at night, it is immediately over, and you're still in the barrel, and you don't hear the hag anymore. And also, you, as people who have been at sea, can tell that you're at sea because you're, rolling and bobbing.
All right. I'm going to try to get out of my barrel.
It takes not but a hearty kick or punch, and the lid will pop off, and you are in the hold of a ship.
Do I see a giant crate and some other barrels around?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to first release some barrels.
All right.
I'm going to pop out of my barrel.
All right, there's Eric. Hey, look, there's Bourne. There's Bubbles.
Could I not be upside down in my barrel?
You're not upside down in your barrel.
Okay.
I'll just
and I,
push the
But
lid
your
open.
skin is inside out in your barrel. That was.
Oh, you
yeah,
don't
it's
skin
inside
it.
out. Okay.
You-
You don't. Somehow your country means skin in some other language. That's how she got you.
Push the lid
Just
off
by-
and stand out.
just
of
by
it.
cheating.
Well, what else is in this hold? By the way.
It's the hold, so barrels, kegs, wines and foods and etceteras.
We're on another ship.
I'm gonna get a some sort of wine or alcohol, and I was like, Eric, I'm a little curious. I hand over like a bottle, and I was like, would you mind?
Right. Eric, son of Eric. You are thirsty. You try and drink. It turns to ash in your mouth. You cough it out, as a matter of fact. Big cloud.
Oh well, I hope my semen does not change to that.
Gross.
Well,
Is that just alcohol? Is that water as well? Because you're not going to live very long if that is the case.
you make a very solid point.
I find a skin of water, I guess. The emergency water hanging on the hook that they always have in the hold,
Water actually isn't very common on ships, but you can find it.
Yeah, there's probably a barrel with a
Probably
ladle
fucking
somewhere.
Stale.
Yeah, it doesn't
Stale water.
Yeah, it doesn't keep well, and various other reasons. That's why, very, very thin alcohol it was so common on ships, because you just couldn't transport drinking
Oh,
water.
you are fucked, Eugene.
Yep.
But you managed to find a cask of water, a skin, perhaps, the thing of water.
You could always try drinking salt water if we can't find it.
Do you drink from the water?
I drink from the water.
It turns to ash in your mouth.
Well, this was a cool character. Glad we had it. Dead in 3 days. Well, that was fun. Oh.
Maybe you don't need to drink anymore.
I told you, lot. You said drink, which usually means alcohol, but all drinks are drinks.
Oh, she fucked you real hard.
Yes, it does seem that way.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how thirsty are you right now?
Very.
Quite.
So, as you guys are experimenting with Eric's little curse,
Quick, who wants to father my child now?
there's something else that you notice. Each of you now has a tattoo that you didn't have before.
Oh god, I hope it's another tramp stamp.
I am not very good at drawing. This is the gist of it. I should correct. I'm better at drawing when it's not in Roll20, but Roll20 is very hard to maneuver and make look good.
So it looks like a horseshoe crab.
It looks like a horseshoe crab.
Looks like a
kind of.
Yeah,
Horseshoe crab.
I was gonna say like a some sort of weird shield.
Kind of. He's pretty close with. It looks kind of like a horseshoe crab shell. Kind of.
And where exactly is this on our bodies?
You get to decide.
Okay, I want this. I'm gonna my face now. I'm gonna put this on. I guess like my chest, maybe like
sure.
Just like on somewhere like
sternum, or over the heart, or not the heart.
I reckon right in the middle, right there. You know, like,
sternum.
Yeah,
sternum. Excellent. Right where your Mediterranean unhairy chest is. You know, when you open your swashbuckling little
chest.
Your glistening olive chest. Right. So, where did Eugene? It sounded like you had an idea.
Tongue.
Fine. Sure. You have a tattooed tongue now.
Yeah, I put mine under my penis.
Yours should have been on your penis. It was a curse that affects your penis.
Bjorn.
I'm gonna go with the inside of the wrist.
Right sure. Here. Wrist tattoo, classic pirate tattoo. Stone.
I think it's on his forearm. On his on the top of his palm. On top of his palm.
Perfect. Fine. Well done. You've all gotten a mysterious tattoo. Quite a night of drinking that was.
Yeah, I think she screwed us.
Perhaps you do not. Perhaps maybe instead of taking the alcohol or the water in through your mouth, you can do it another way. It is only drink that is affected, right?
And which way would you suggest, Ricardo?
Up the nose.
When you're lost at sea, you can't drink salt water, but there's an old sailor trick. It's called an enema.
That means up the arse, Stone, in case you were wondering.
We're going to pause just real quick.
We're paused. Yes, it's all paused.
Really?
No.
Well, I was thinking more of like just simply transfusing it into him.
Oh, yes, that incredibly advanced surgical technique that won't be invented properly for hundreds of years. And
we have a crafter in our party. He can come up.
Yeah, you can just craft anything. Look, I'm going to get out in front of this while the game's paused. I'm going to tell you that if you try and give yourself an enema to receive water, it will turn to ash in your butt. So don't go through the motions. Just don't even bother.
I had literally just swallowed some coffee when you said that, and I almost died.
Oh god!
So just don't even try it. Let's just move on.
I'm gonna look through the.
Are we ready to unpause?
Yeah, unpause game.
Unpause. I don't know what that is. What is that?
We're not gonna try it.
I search through the boxes and I find like an apple or something.
Yep.
I throw Eric the apple and he's like, try this. Perhaps it's the act of eating. will give you.
You're very talented at finding things.
That's what I do. I find it and I take it.
The apple's fine. You eat it, it's fine, but it doesn't quench your thirst at all, even though it's juicy.
Not ash, so that's good. Still thirsty, though.
Perhaps it is just the feeling of thirst that won't go away, but your body will be able to sustain itself of fruits and stuff.
I do have a question.
Yes, Stone.
How did she become a witch if she was just born on the island? I mean, who taught her?
It doesn't matter right now, does it? Maybe there was another witch there. Or maybe she was born of a witch and the witch failed to save herself.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
No, Maybelline is a folk's tale.
An old folks' tale.
I tell you what we could do. We could start like spreading word that there is a way off the island.
And that's how that story started in the first place.
Yeah, but we could tell them all they need to do is beat her up. Like when she takes them inside, they just have to beat her up and steal the beeswax.
I don't think that'd be a good idea, lad.
Why not?
You don't know how that's going to come back to bite us in the ass, just like these ill-advised deals.
I'm gonna
Sorry, you, June.
So I'm gonna do my best to sort of investigate the upper level of the ship. What time of day?
I'm just gonna walk out into the deck.
It's
Are we stowaway? Are we technically stowaways?
Yeah.
It's just it's that part of it's just before dawn, and the ship is like it's got, if you just peek, it's got someone at the wheel. It's got a lookout. It's got the skeleton crew for the night shift, right? Like they're not going through a storm, so it's not all hands on deck or anything. They're all probably sleeping in the part of the bows of the ship where the bunks are, etc.
Why don't we, I don't know, try and find where we're going, and
I just walk out onto the deck.
Oh, we could do that. That works too.
All right, you're out on the deck.
Hello? Hello?
The guy at the helm looks down, and it's like, "Morning, sailor."
Morning.
You're up early.
You could say that we couldn't sleep.
It was a rough night.
Yeah, well, first night at sea is always a little rough.
So our journey has just begun. Good news.
Whose ship is this?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you sign the contract drunk?
Not anymore, I wouldn't, but, yes.
You've joined the crew of Ratbeard.
Does he have beard made of rats, or
Is it a really rubbish beard?
It's a ratty beard. I mean,
So
don't say that to his face. Just,
I mean, you're saying it quite loudly on deck.
he's still asleep.
what do we actually call him, though?
Captain
Captain what?
Ratbeard.
But he hates the name. What about Captain John?
He's fine with the name Ratbeard. Just don't tell him that you think that he has that name because his beard is ratty.
My first thought was, he
I'm
commands
confused.
the rodents to act as
Sure,
facial.
go with that. Fine, just go with that.
And where are we headed?
We've just sailed out of Peresia, and we're heading to distant shores. And by that I mean you all signed up on a voyage where you didn't know where you were going. But the pay is good.
Yeah.
Well, that's something. And how many of us signed up for this voyage?
First mate's still taking head count.
And you are...
There's 6 of us here.
Night
Yeah, there's-
helmsman?
Do you have a name, Night Helmsman?
Oh, you were still asking about positions.
Ratbeard Jr.
I was a little confused. They call me One Eye. He's got 2 eyes.
Is that because one eye is better than the other?
No.
Or you think with
It's because you have a giant cock.
Yeah, that was where I was
No.
going with it too.
No. Keep guessing. I'm bored.
Are they really bad at giving people nicknames on this ship?
I didn't get my name on this ship. I got my name on one of my old ships.
And you
Okay, so
chose
they
to
bad
keep it?
there.
Well, you always keep your first nickname.
I
Bubbles
look,
sort of like
I look meaningfully at Bubbles.
He solemnly nods.
Aye, you do, laddie.
You always keep your first name. It's good luck, you see. Bad omen to change your nickname or try.
Right. Well,
If it changes naturally, that's fine.
This is Stone. That's Ricardo Mendez with a Z.
You keep pointing that out. Are you,
'Cause you pointed it out.
It's how you introduced yourself. I thought that's how it was said in Perezia.
I said that for dramatic flair. Because you asked a second time. And a man who asks a second time is a man who does not listen.
Or
No, it's
you
just
have a
you're
thick
very
accent.
hard to understand.
Yeah, Parisians are all like that.
No, very easy to understand.
Your accent's very
Yeah.
thick.
You do have quite an accent.
Wait, do we have to understand? Sorry.
It's okay.
Right.
I don't expect you to follow much. It's fine.
What you have to understand is that you all are, deckhands on Ratbeard's ship and follow orders and don't, go out too far out of your way and don't get in trouble and etc. Pay's good. Food's good. Drink's good.
So what? So why are you called One Eye?
I mean,
Maybe
I
he
would just-
collects one eye of every enemy he kills.
no. I want you to keep guessing.
There's
I don't-
only-
Look,
Maybe he
One-eyed
fell
dude.
for a one-eyed prostitute in his first town, and the lads made fun of him for it.
Doesn't
Hmm.
everyone fall for one-eyed prostitutes?
No.
No. Anyway, this can move on. We have months and months and months at sea together for you to guess why my nickname is One Eye. It'll be a fun little game, like a running gag.
do
And
you
I don't know why
have
we would need one of
eye?
those. Because it's no, I've got two. You can see them.
All right. I got no idea.
Perfect.
So it seems we have been drafted aboard a vessel.
You must have been really drunk. I advised the captain against these sorts of contracts. They usually don't end well. You're all capable of sailing, right?
Just as a question, and I'm
Very capable.
only throwing it out there. If we perhaps didn't sign the contract,
Oh, it's fine. We've got extras. If you just walked on board the ship, they made sure not to take too many, so there's obviously enough room for you. You can sign the contract later and get paid. It's fine. Just speak to the first mate later. Say, I was all swept up in the big speeches at the bar and everything. I didn't actually get to sign the book, but I'm here, and he'll sign it. Don't worry.
Well, I'm satisfied.
sure. Why not? Are we pirates?
No, 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 no.
Good.
Yes.
I would hate to think I'd become a pirate.
I mean, some of the things that we do are not strictly legal.
Oh, like gambling.
Sure, exactly. And we maybe don't have the charter of a nation backing us. And Ratbeard maybe doesn't technically own this ship.
I
What?
liked it when you said less things.
Right. We'll just stop for now. It's fine. The money's good.
Does anybody know how to sail?
Yes.
I have a little bit of experience.
I've walked on a ship before.
It's fine. I know how to sail, says Bubbles. I'll cover your asses.
Hmm.
I'm
Like
gonna
the
have to
enema
catch
that Eric might have to have, yes?
Yes.
Still don't know what that is.
It's a metaphor and a terrible one.
It's a metaphor for how fucked you are, Eric.
I'm sure we're all fucked. Quite sure, as a matter of fact.
I will find out once we reach shore.
Or sooner, or later.
What about you, Bjorn? Do you know how to like tie a knot and stuff?
Also know how to tie a knot.
Where are you from again,
Who are you asking?
Bjorn?
No, Bjorn.
He
Threat.
said Thrin.
Whereabouts
Weren't
is
you
that?
paying attention?
Well, in which direction would you say that would be?
For the record, you know all of this. You haven't
Okay.
forgotten your country at all. It still exists. You know where it is.
I didn't know what.
It's above Prius.
No. It's above Prius to the northeast.
And what would you say?
I'm going to say to One Eye. Do you know where Frin is?
Thrin?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's above Prius.
It's apparently above Prius, which
The great craftsmen made this vessel for somebody.
Not Ratbeard,
Not Ratbeard.
right?
But
So
now it's Ratbeard's
Ratbeard-
vessel.
Well,
So
I don't know
Ratbeard
about
works
you.
for this person.
Pardon?
Ratbeard works for the person who owns the ship.
No, it's Ratbeard's ship now. He just didn't. It just wasn't made for Ratbeard.
Eric,
So he bought
need
the
to,
ship.
You need to follow along a little closely. You
There
see-
was a transaction, and now Ratbeard owns the ship.
Okay. Perfectly understandable.
Yes.
probably
Good.
gambling.
Well, they did say they did some illegal things,
Mm.
Yes,
like gambling.
Yes. Well, not everything we do is strictly legal. We're a charter ship who picks up drunks in port and goes off to unknown locations.
Would,
You're asking a lot of-
would it be at all possible to stop by Prius?
No.
It is quite important that I get home, or actually, I was trying to hunt down a group of pirates who raided.
We might encounter them. You never know. Out to sea and all that.
Where?
High
where
it's a
adventure.
very small place after all. The ocean.
Encountering a specific group of pirates sounds like a lifetime goal. You've got plenty of time.
Well, you know what? We're out at sea. Sun's going to be shining shortly. About hour, I'd guess.
Don't worry, Eric. Your family's in good hands. I'm sure Eric is a very strong and capable child.
Eric, son of Eric, is a good lad.
I don't know if you're talking about yourself now. I really don't.
No, that's my son.
Yeah.
But you're all anyway. So, glad you're up early. Breakfast won't be, for another hour or so. But you've made a great impression on the captain. I'll let him know that you woke up early and were so brimming with salient questions, etc. You're making a good first impression, is what I'm saying.
Yes. A good impression is a lasting impression, no?
Yes.
I mean, also a bad impression would be a lasting impression. I suppose any impression could last.
Don't
This
ruin the
vessel is
moment.
not a vessel of philosophy, so I'm just going to get back to steering the ship. And he sort of leans
yes.
back behind the steering wheel.
Does he just hang on to it and just be like...
No, it's not like huge. It's just
I know, but he's like sleeping at the wheel, just hanging on.
no, he's not sleeping. He's awake.
Well,
I don't think
Bubbles.
it's called a steering wheel, but
It's called a helm, yes.
Yeah, well, it's like the helm is the whole thing, but what is the specific word for that? The wheel that has a bunch of prongs on it. That specific type of steering wheel. I don't think it's specifically helm.
Yes, it is the helm, yes.
No, I don't think so. Because all the vessels or it's always the helm, regardless of what type it is.
Well,
Anyway,
lads,
this is not an important line of inquiry.
seems we've made a deal with the Sea Witch, gotten off the island. We get to live for another day, and now we are on the vessel of Captain Ratbeard, who I'm sure is a lovely man.
It's literally called the ship's wheel. There you go.
It's called
Yeah,
the ship's
there you go.
wheel. It's also called the steering gear.
That just seems unfortunate.
Because it's gear, it's gear like. And anyway,
Anywho, I was saying things.
Yeah.
So I guess we should get to know the ship and the crew and figure out what it is the captain wants us to do, and I don't know, embrace our new life of adventure upon the sea.
And with that, I think we're going to call it here for tonight, because this is a perfect place to end it. It's a little early, but we're not going to get the next thing started, and it would end in a very awkward place, and we can have some time for outros and to pimp our shows and etc.
We still got 40 minutes, dude.
I know, but that's what I have prepared. So
Okay.
you can just go with it.
All right. So, with that in mind, let's do some outros. Eric, son of Eric, aka your Jonas. Let's start with you.
I feel like I really kind of let Dr. Wreckage down. Obviously he was expecting backstories that were a little bit longer, a bit more in depth, and I feel like he put a lot of trust in me to come up with one, and I let him
Put
down.
a lot of trust in all of you.
Well, I mean, Stone obviously didn't let you down.
Mm-hmm.
James put the work in. And you know what? Prylor put the work in. He had drug-induced visions. Henley ended up sneaking into a barrel, and then
I mean, if we're gonna judge it by that metric, then you had as much story.
I mean, I had a giant octopus. I mean,
Yeah, you just threw it in at the
I
end,
was unique in the giant octopus front. Anyway, hi, I'm Eugene. You can find me at twitch.tv/Eugene, on Twitter at DSEugene, on YouTube at something or other. I don't know. Try searching Eugene. You might find it. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I play video games and the stuff. As I said at the beginning, I will say again at the end, I'm very excited about this show. Still feel like I got to come to grips with my character a little bit, but wonderful. Luckily, I've got 3 other wonderful role-playing geniuses here to kind of help me get there. So, looking forward to it, and so should you.
I don't know. I think your character's pretty solidified in the fact that your entire history rests on the one name, and I think they can take your character a very long way. If you keep beating that horse, it will fucking bear fruit. I guarantee it.
Well, obviously, since fruit is now the only fucking thing I can eat to keep my character alive.
Well, we had to eat soup.
No, you're fine. You guys guessed
You can
it.
eat soup.
No, I can't, because it's made fucking liquid if I drink it.
So, you guys correctly guessed that his thirst will never be slated, but it'll also never kill him. So,
Well, there you go.
so you can never die from thirst. You'll just feel like you're dying of thirst for the rest of your life.
Well, hey, what you gonna do?
I think
Sometimes you just got to put on a smile and live your life.
Stews, soup, any sort of like dessert that's runny.
Yeah, I do have a question.
Yep.
If it is a liquidy food item, is it a food like soup?
Can it be said that you drink it? Because people drink soups.
You eat soup.
You can eat soup.
The adjective used for soup is that you eat soup.
We drink soup here.
You're
If it's
fucking
No, you
crazy.
If it's an
You
actual
eat soup.
liquid
You
soup.
use a spoon and you eat soup. You don't put a fucking straw in soup.
Now, hold on a second, Eugene. Is it a stew or a soup? Because
Well, stew and soup are 2 different effing things.
right here,
Right now, we are focusing on soup.
right, and soup here is defined as something that has no chunks in it.
Come on,
it's
don't lie to
just
me.
like
Soup.
Chicken noodle soup is a soup, and it
Right.
is nothing but chunks.
The only thing I've seen Americans do with soup is dip their fucking sandwiches in it. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, we drink the soup here.
Wait, so moving on, let's go to Mr. Bjorn Sven.
Yo.
aka Prylorian, the
Yes.
Lawmaster. What up, sir? How you doing?
I'm good. That was a lot of fun. I'm Pryler. You can find me at Pryler on Twitch and Pryler_TV on Twitter. I'm a variety streamer, and yeah, that was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks a lot for getting me on a show. Actually got to get past the character creation and the world development and get to RP a little bit more with, or for the first time with you guys. So I'm looking forward to doing some more for sure.
Fuck yeah,
It was
man.
a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
And last but not least, from the player side of things, we have the lovely, the impeccable Mr. Samuel Stonewell, aka James C. UK. What up, sir?
I'm all right, thank you. Thanks everyone for watching. Just so you know, follow me on Twitch if you want to, /JamesCUK. I also do RPG streams on. We've just started a new game on Sunday, Tales from the Loop. So, if you're interested, come watch that. Like, it's 80s sci-fi, not sci-fi, 80s sort of that never was. Just won a load of awards as well at Gen Con, like 5 awards. Tomorrow I play video games as well, but Sunday and Tuesday are generally my game nights. So if anyone's around, you can watch that. It's always a laugh. Other than that, I stream video games, and that's really about me. I play like Heroes of the Storm and stuff like that. So, and I'm always open to people to join in because I hate playing games by myself.
All right. Let's go to our game master, aka the witch lady of the island of false hope. What up?
That is one of the
Mr.
characters I
Dr.
played today.
Wreckage? How are you doing?
Swell. Hi,
Barrel
everybody.
master. Dr.
I am Dr. Wreckage, and hi. I do this show, and I do LA at Night on Mondays. Please join us Monday, same time, same place, for the exciting conclusion of what's going on over there. And please, if you liked this, please join us again Wednesday. Also, in general, if you liked Die Party, give the channel a follow because we do a lot of this. Had a good first session. Only had to roll dice once. Still not super confident that we did that correctly, but I will continue to read the rules and etc. And
so the one thing you need to know about rolling in this game is if it doesn't constitute a risk to the player, there's no need to roll or use.
No, it doesn't need to be a risk to the player.
It literally says risk to the player or hero. So
yes, but it can be a narrative risk. They give examples where the player is not going to get hurt, and so Bubbles dying was still a risk. They give plenty. They give plenty of examples where losing someone or someone else dying is one of the rolling examples, even though the player is under in no danger. That was great. We have a bit of housekeeping to do here because there's a straw poll that Samuel Stone completely crushed through absolutely no amount of campaigning or vote rigging on behalf of you, June. So the people have agreed, and
What were the numbers?
For all 50 people who are watching, only 11 voted. So first of all, bad on you, chat, for low participation rate. You will be getting no XP for this session.
Yeah, look, lurker's gonna lurk, all right? So
right, but still, be it as it may, Stone had 7 votes. Eric, son of Eric, had 3 votes. Ricardo had 1 vote. Nobody voted for Bjorn.
I just wanted to make sure I had more than Henley.
Yep, you did. X-Knots.
it's not a competition unless it is, and then I'll win it. So
it is a competition.
Cooler accent than me. I had to have something. Damn it!
You could have had an accent, but you chose to not go with Yuri, son of Yuri.
I could have been Yuri, son of Yuri, but it would have been bad. It would not have been good show. I would have eventually run out of.
No, come on. I would have had to. If you did Yuri, son of Yuri, You could have made Wreckage have to do British, Spaniard, Russian, and white guy.
But yes, when he did all of those things but better than us, it would have been embarrassing for us.
I haven't yet had to do Spaniard. So
whenever there's a white guy in the room, you can assume it's from Trin, I guess. There you go.
We were allowed to vote on that. I voted in the straw poll. So it's like, don't ever exclude yourself. You're certainly not above the law.
So what does he win? What does he win? Let's get to the meat and potatoes. What's in the briefcase? What's in the barrel sealed with beeswax?
It's a bottle full of beeswax, man.
Yeah.
What more could you ever want? And 6 coins.
No, Bubbles has the 6 coins. So I promised you a mechanical benefit if you told the best story. And thus you shall receive a mechanical benefit. James, you have an extra dot to put in one of your skills.
Fucking what? Okay. Put it in the one that makes it go from 3 to 4. Guaranteed that'll give you the most benefit. Because 3 to 4 gives you considerably more.
Put it in sailing. So
at ranked 4, you will earn 2 raises by getting it to set of 15 rather than a set of 10.
You can also take your time and think about it, and you don't have to do it right now, right here.
Certainly.
So there's that.
Already decided,
Plus, if you go from 2 to 3, you get the ability to re-roll any single die when you take a risk.
Also, there's some other piece of housekeeping that we need to take care of. Each of you who have been branded by the Sea Witch are going to... your curse is narrative, right? We've described the ways in which it is. Well, we found out exactly what Eric's is. And everybody else has yet to find out what theirs are. As you discover them, we're going to discover that there is a mechanical side to the curse. And as Eric has discovered his already, Eric?
Yarp.
Your inability to sate your thirst is, of course, maddening. As a result, please take -1 dot to resolve.
You can't go below 2, though.
But he just did.
I apparently just did. You did it for me.
I did do it for you.
Okay.
Being thirsty and never being able to quench it is going to... resolve is the endurance stat. It's also a little bit about the mental health stat, too. It's both the physical and mental health stat.
Can you still get to 15 points total?
Yes.
But you can't get to 5 resolve, basically. So his max resolve is 4.
No, I've not lowered his max resolve. I've removed a dot in resolve.
So he can still get 5 resolve, but he has to. He basically has to. He's 1
I would
point
have to
down
level
now.
up 4 times.
Okay,
Yes.
I get you now. Right.
He's lost a dot. You can all and these mechanical things will apply to everyone as they discover the full scope of their curse, but not beforehand.
So if you never find it, you never learn your trait.
If you never figure out how your curse is affecting you, I will say, you, June, and James they're going to come up pretty
quickly because we chose more broad traits.
Well, and you chose traits within yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas Dave and Prylor have chosen more distant things. They will regret them that much
Somewhere,
more.
some kid who's running around with other kids just went turn into ash.
So, Wreckage, just so narratively, how I would like to do this is essentially the reason why I took a resolve hit is it's essentially always taking a bit of my focus to maintain my normal outlook and everything like that. So things that would normally affect me and I would be able to perhaps deal with better, I now can't because I'm essentially just keeping that under control.
You know what this means, though? Theoretically speaking, you can put that one dot that you lost into something else and always have one resolve. If you wanted to, min-max your dude.
I mean, he's just lost the dot. So if he gains other dots and doesn't put them into things, like he's not min-maxing really. He hasn't been able to take it out. But here's what
I think what Henley is basically talking about is
a total of 15, but you get -1 in resolve.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That is technically true then. You could technically use that to lead to that place. It'll probably be, just to speak to it narratively, it's probably going to be really tough for the first little while, and then it'll become something that you're used to, like a wound.
Yeah.
You'll forget what it was like to not be thirsty. You're maybe looking at a couple hard nights of not being able to fall asleep, maddened with the thirst.
I suspect there will probably come a time where but you know what? This is narrative stuff, and we have a whole episode next week that I won't be here for. So so I suspect that there will be some time on the ship where you will find Eric just like.
Are you out next week?
I might be here next week. We'll talk about it later.
We will talk later.
But you just find Eric like just pouring various liquids down his gullet, turning him to ash.
So if we ever need to float to the surface of a room with the amount of ash, right? You're going to be a very handy character to have around. I mean, two rectums on your body will produce ash now. So
just shove them in both ends.
Yeah, if you ever find a shocking lack of ash somewhere and also a surplus of drinkable liquids, you can fix that problem with your curse.
So if he dived into the sea and had his mouth open,
that's what I was thinking.
He'd be like one of those sea vents. You ever see one of those sea vents that just spews like clouds? That is ash coming out of those like little volcanic vents. So he'd just be like one of those.
Question: if I dip bread into water and eat the bread,
you can still do it. Like we said,
the old American sandwich dunk.
Like we said with the apple, you can eat it, but the juices don't slake your thirst at all.
Fair
and
enough.
If you try and drink something that's just drinking, it doesn't slake your thirst. He's a thirsty boy.
So thirsty.
There are a lot of thirsty fuckboys out there who ain't getting none. Anyway,
gotta work my way through all of them. Maybe one of them will work.
He can still drown. If he's under the water,
turning it drown in ash. Like it's not like
the ash doesn't turn into air.
You still need oxygen.
Yeah, you still need air. So you will just drown in a different way.
And kill so much wildlife.
Just if he ever goes overboard, it's in like an oil spill.
Well, at least we know where he'll be at all times. So anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the first actual play episode of Die Party Dead Man's Crest. If you did, why not follow the channel if you haven't already done so. And if you're feeling real saucy, subscribe, get access to the cockpit, and you will be a part of the best community on the internet. We have the best emotes on the internet as well, by the way. They're fantastic. And as always, you can go head on over to the Patreon and support us there as well. In terms of what we got going on this week, I do believe we will have the return of Die Party Gambit, as well as the return of Die Party Whiskers and Whiskey, since Eric should be back from living his fucking life. God damn it. So he'll be back.
How dare he?
How dare he? Exactly.
How dare he?
Yeah. So head on over to the schedule, which is !schedule, to check out everything that's got going on. That's the most up-to-date and easiest way to get all the information you need on what's happening. Yeah. Fun episode. I feel like I hit Ricardo on the head with the way I wanted to play him, and the accent came out the way I wanted it to. It's definitely not difficult to do. Unlike a certain British orc that I used to play, it doesn't hurt me as well to do it. So that's nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, you might have 6 coins, but that won't resolve your thirst. Good night.
But if I had more than 6 coins,